something, and it's like we can see you kind of tilt the head with, "What are you talking about?" Look,
Yeah.
We can see that. That's gonna be great.
He's also close enough for me to throw things at.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah,
that's why we have to resort to this busting each other's chops around here, since we're, not that close. We can't throw stuff at each other, so we don't have that.
You might have states in between you.
oh yeah. I mean, from coast to coast and in between. I mean, Mike's over there, close to the East Coast. I'm in the Midwest, and of course, then there's Cash. He's in that other country, the great socialist state of California. So.
Yeah, right. California. I'm so sorry, Cash.
Many years, I don't listen to a lot of crap that they have to tell me.
So, Baron, you said you're in the Midwest. Whereabouts?
Minnesota.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're Illinois.
Ah, Minnesota.
Oh yeah, there, don't you know? Yeah, it's outside of the Twin Cities there. Yeah. You can get that going around here, don't you know?
You should have been in Fargo, man. You should have been in Fargo.
Well, they needed to get more Minnesotans in there that actually talk that way there, and we can invite people over for a hot dish afterwards there, don't you know?
Got to get that hot dish, man.
We have them potlucks with the hot dishes there, and we just don't do those for funerals,
Favorite line from Fargo. Now, you be quiet back there, or I'm gonna have to, shoot you.
Oh, you know what? We gotta find that soundbite.
We do. I mean,
that's classic.
It's not like we don't have enough sound bites. We already have enough trouble finding the certain ones that we like to use.
Oh yeah, I know. It's time to start weeding through. It's like,
That's why you just keep them in one folder.
Well, no, in StreamYard, there's no separation. What I usually do is I have my intro, I have my outro, and then the key ones that I'm expecting to use that night. But you're right. Every now and again, it's like, oh, I gotta find. I fucking knew it. Oh,
Or why is the rum always gone?
Why is the rum always gone? Or Terrence Stamp. Why do you say this to me when you know I will kill you for it?
Yeah, because we have our favorites that we like to play here. I mean, whatever Cash and Barrett get out of line, or a frequent guest gets out of line, I like to play this one.
All right, youngster, out you go.
Don't come back. Ever.
And
wow.
Barrett himself out.
Yeah, we did a watch part. Did I do that on my channel, or was I on someone else's channel? I don't remember now.
Yeah, I'm so used to being kicked out when that's played, so
just decide to remove yourself.
Yep. Wow.
And tonight we're all here to talk about Troy's channel. We're here to talk about Netter's channel. We're here to talk about Age Boomer's channel. We're here to ask them, how they started their channel, where they see their channel in 6 months to a year, where they'd like to see their channel go, and their thoughts on pop culture.
Yeah. Well, it's probably cool to talk to all three of us, because our channels are pretty much intimately intertwined. I almost think of them as one channel, and we're just sharing the bandwidth, because none of us pays for StreamYards, so we would go over our time if we had three different streams.
Talking about pop culture, pops on pop culture, I did the Potawatomi Challenge, and you can actually find that on, if you go to my channel, I've got it pinned there, so you can see me take the Potawatomi Challenge.
And speaking of which,
and speaking of Potawatomi, he will actually be my guest on Thursday on my Thursday Thing show.
Yep.
Very nice.
So, where does it all start? I think I've been doing this for about, it's been more than 3 years. This was it was well before
the Coof?
The Coof, yeah. I was guesting on some other people's channels, doing a lot of blue wrenching and so forth, and especially Big L Presents, getting on with him, doing the both Netter and I doing watch parties with him and so forth, and after the Coof, I was like, I think I'd like to start my own thing, because Friday nights for us, Netter and I used to work together, before the lockdowns and whatnot. And we worked for the same company. And on Friday nights, we used to go to this little pub just the other side of the expressway from where we worked with a bunch of our coworkers. And it was a great opportunity to, like, decompress,
Complain about the stupid people.
Whether that was other coworkers or our bosses or clients or whatever. And it was something we really looked forward to during the week. And honestly, when we lost our positions from downsizing, Coof and all that, we were like, well, we're going to really miss that. So I was thinking, I think we could use YouTube for this, and we can, keep in touch. Well, didn't end up keeping in touch with any of the coworkers, but, started building a YouTube community here. So that's where the whole last call thing comes from. Hanging out at a pub, having drinks, chit-chatting, being social till the wee hours of the night, and then, last call for alcohol, and, end the show. But, yeah, that's pretty much how that started. But I continued doing the Saturday shows with Al, and he and Netter kind of started trading off Saturday nights. One week he'd do a movie, next week she'd do a movie, and so forth. I've become kind of the technical guy. I host the movie off platform so people can watch along with us and stuff.
And just so you have an idea of the movies, all those behind me, those are DVDs.
Yep.
We own over 1,000 movies.
And we're just going through them.
Right now I'm going alphabetically. Yep. I'm in C.
Okay.
And,
nice. Wow.
and yeah, so so my show could be just about anything. I mean, there's a lot of similarities to your show here, Mike. Talking about pop culture, talking about movies, doing some watch parties once in a while. Oftentimes having guests on doing exactly this, talking to other YouTubers that I enjoy, that I want to see do well, and I figure if I enjoy them, my viewers are going to enjoy them too. So get the word out about them, and yeah, that's.
Now,
and
for
that's
me,
the thing, Pops was pretty much the one person where we all met each other, because I was on a stream of Pops a year ago, and that's where I first met you.
Yeah, exactly. There was a big panel over on Pop's channel, and we all kind of just subscribed to each other and kind of kept in touch. And yeah, that's how this community grows. And I 100%. So I was real excited when you. Well, I can't hear you now, but you can hear me. When YouTube kind of relaxed one of their restrictions, and I was able to get a community tab. So I was like, oh, great. So I can literally post up every time I go on someone else's channel, so everyone that follows me gets a notification. Hey, come check me out on Pacific 414 today at, 6 Central, 5 Central, 6 Eastern. Okay. Don't make me do math. I figure it out before I hit post. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey zones. Yeah.
Down. So. And then for me, like I said, Troy was doing his Friday night last call. Yeah, I'm over here. And
well, you're really over there, but it looks better if I do it this way, so they,
And as I mentioned, I switch off every other Saturday with Big L to do the movie rewatches. And we always have a Cosme link. So if you don't have the movie that we're playing, Troy always has a Cosme link. So he plays the movie, you can watch along. Yep. You don't even need to own the movie. But it's always good to own physical media.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
And
but I got some.
Yeah. And then every week we go through what's coming up.
Yep.
Okay, well, Friday, it's Friday night, last call, blah, 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 blah. Saturday, we're going to be watching, we're going to be on Big Al, or we're going to be on Netter's Network, whatever. Sunday, now it's deleted scenes with the pre-show, and then Geeky Geezers, and then he's got another show after that. And then we go through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, back to Friday. And no one ever had anything for Thursdays. And week after week of, no, nothing on Thursday, nothing on Thursday. So finally I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do something on Thursdays. So I started doing a thing called Thursday Things. And like this, I invite different guests on. And my objective is to help other YouTubers grow their channels because we all started off small. And, you know,
I think I'm still small.
you know, I want to try and help get, you know, even if I only get you 1 or 2 subscribers, it's more than you had. So trying to get the word out about your channel. Hey, go check them out. Check out their videos. Share out, you know, their channels to other people that you know, and help grow them. Because PJ from Orville Nation always says, together we grow. And so I'm trying to help other people. I know other people have helped me, and I'm not big by any means. I think I'm at 248. But I also have a gimmick. I'm not really in it for the subs. I'm in it to make people happy. So I tell everyone, you get me up to a milestone, and I'm going to give away stuff. Okay. So for my 200, I gave away 3 different things. So it's like I had a headset stand for gamers. I had a cell phone charger, one of those ones you just put your phone on top and it charges it.
Yeah.
I had a Star Wars game. I think it was the Hoth game that I gave away. And it's like, you get me to a milestone, I have a giveaway. So it's not for me, it's for you. So it's like every time I hit a milestone, you're going to get something. We're going to have gifts just for fun. And then I also have, just kind of on the side, and I need to edit like a ton of videos that I have and get them out there. I have vids up where I'm doing how-tos, product demonstrations, things like that. My very first video was how to fold a box, because sometimes it's a really good box. And you want to keep it, but if you just fold it flat, the flap sticks out and it takes up too much room. So if you fold the flaps in, it takes up a little bit less room, and you can still keep that great box until you need it.
I remember her asking me once, do you think it would be a good idea for me to do, like how-tos of these simple basic things that everyone, should know and maybe doesn't? I'm like, you know what? I think common sense has gone out the window. I think there is no level of knowledge these days. What you think is, simple and everyone should know, nobody knows. Maybe go ahead and just do it.
One of my most popular videos is how to fold a fitted sheet.
Yeah, well, that's not a simple thing. That one's actually a little bit more involved.
Yeah, I've had people go, I could never do that. Then I watched your video. Now I can fold a fitted sheet. And what I did is I took somebody else's YouTube video on how to fold a fitted sheet, and I followed it in novice terms. So it's like, okay, they're saying to do this. So let's see how we can make this work. And I had a queen sheet. I don't know what sheet they had in the video. I think they might have had a twin, because all of their lines and pockets and everything just matched up. Mine is like, okay, according to their video, this should be a pocket. My pocket's down here. But we're going to make it work. And at the end, I had a folded fitted sheet. And actually halfway decent. So yeah, so if you check out some of my vids, it's like I've got how-tos, and I've got other ones we put in other. I have a bathroom renovation that I did. How to do that on a budget. 5-part series.
So you both have a nice variety of videos on your channels. There's something for everybody.
That's what my aim is. It's like I want to be eclectic so that I can appeal to just about anyone.
And real quick, I do want to welcome in the third member of this dynamic trio, Age Boomer. Welcome, Age Boomer.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh, not a problem, sir.
There you
How
go.
are you doing today?
Hello. Doing fine, just got home from work.
All right.
Where the hell have you been, soldier?
Training, sir! Training, sir!
What kind of training, son?
Army training, sir! Army training, sir!
Hooah!
Leave it to Barrett. Here I am trying to be a nice, gracious host, and Barrett's all.
Welcome to the Lion's Den, H Boomer.
That's from Stripes.
Where's your sergeant? Blown up, sir!
Blown up, sir!
So, H Boomer, to get you caught up, and again, thank you for accepting the invitation. On what we're talking about tonight, we're talking about your channels and where you see your channels going in 6 months from now, a year from now, where you'd like your channels to go, and your views on pop culture.
Okay. Oh my goodness, where do I begin? This kind of sort of started out. Troy approached me early on, and we decided to do like a weekly kind of covering the news, like pop culture news type of channel a while back. And it tends to be the stuff we're interested in mainly. I want to say it's not cultural related, but it usually is. There's usually Disney is up to shenanigans or somebody else. But we try to be positive on the channel too, we start out the streams usually with a good old days, where we talk about something from the past we enjoy. Also, we have in remembrances a lot where we talk about celebrities that have just passed away. That's kind of a downer, but we have to talk about it. Like Treat Williams just this past week, he's the one that passed away. Yeah. We talked about him for a bit, and. As the future, I hope I keep growing. It's weird. My streams are very weird because I'll look at my links. Like the last one we did, apparently over 1,000 views, and I have no idea why. And other weeks it'd be like a couple hundred or something. It's weird. But
well, I think if you pay attention to the thumbnails, the ones that suddenly have really high viewership. Like that. I think one of your highest ones is the clip that you did from one with what's his name, Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck, yeah.
I thought that through, and I know why people are going to that particular thumbnail.
Oops.
It's kind of it's that freeze frame where Leah Thompson's reaching over him and her butt's kind of like she's in her underwear. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm that's why people are going and checking that one out.
I thought it was our scintillating commentary on Howard the Duck.
Well, it's also got the most thumbs down because they get there and then they're like, "Oh, it's just two old farts bickering."
No, I just assumed people love Howard the Duck and didn't like our take on it. That's what I figured.
Oh yeah, it could be. There's that element of it too, I suppose. But
Troy and I during the week we find the news stories that sound most interesting and we start talking about them.
The way I usually promote it, throughout the week is I say that, like half of it's going to be stuff that you are already hearing about on other channels, but we're probably bringing a very different perspective than you're getting on the other channels. And the other half is going to be stuff that nobody else is covering because it was just interesting to us,
And then they go off on tangents.
And I do tend to go off on tangents, yeah.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with going off on a tangent, especially if it's about a particular subject matter where you're passionate about it.
We're too professional here on this show to do that.
Yeah.
Far too professional.
Wait, Barrett, this is Pop Talk. Since when have we been professional?
Oh, I don't know. Okay, sorry, I'm on the wrong show. I was thinking of their show. Sorry about that.
No,
and when it comes around the promotion, Mike didn't want me to say this, but when he gets up to 1,000, he's going to give away a free spatula. A free spatula to when that comes around for a free giveaway.
Is it a Spatula City spatula?
You got it. Yes, it is.
Yes, direct from Spatula City.
I mean, he's 5 hours away from one, so it's a chore for him to get this to be a gift.
So you're going to give us the spatula?
The spatula treatment. I was just thinking of that.
Dying into drapes again. The Aunt Jemima treatment.
The Aunt Jemima treatment, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'll get you canceled. Can't say that these days. Can't talk about Aunt Jemima. Can't talk about Uncle Ben.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh no, yeah, because we got to erase all that representation because we can't have representation before like the year 2020, right?
Yeah, the Land O'Lakes. That was taken away too. The Indian
Yep.
woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got rid of that.
But the Quaker Oats guy, he's still good. What does that tell you?
Well, you know, let's step back and said, how American is that? They kept the land and got rid of the Indian.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. I mean, do you realize exactly what they did there with that? They basically did the stereotype.
Yep.
In their political correct BS.
Yep.
I liked her.
Yeah, I did too. I used to like to cut the knees off the one in the back and put them in front of the butter in the front.
Yep. That old trick. Hey, remember, dinner's right across from you, so be careful.
I know.
I'm looking around like, what can I whip at him?
Yeah, right, exactly.
He's got a choice between a soy sauce packet and a AAA battery.
Too bad you don't have a Land O'Lakes butter to throw in.
Right, exactly.
You like it so much, here you go.
So, when it comes to your YouTube channels, and especially now that YouTube has changed the YouTube partnership program, where do you see your channels going 6 months or a year from now?
You see, yeah, I just heard about that, and now I'm afraid to get too optimistic. But man, I mean, in theory, if I get my watch hours up, in the next month or two, I could get limited monetization like really, really soon. Up until then, it was like I was looking at I'm right in the I don't know where I'm at, 625, something like that, subscribers. So I'm like, okay, gosh, we're looking at probably not getting to 1,000 until, like Christmas or later, if I'm lucky. But now
641.
Okay, 641. So that's pretty good. That definitely gives me enough. But I got to get my watch hours up. And I'm actually really close. So
Yeah, it's like I've got about half my watch hours and half my subs.
I mean, so I guess asking me that question, it's a little harder for me to answer today than it would have been like a month ago, because now that's a question I'm actively thinking through, and I'm not 100% certain. If I could monetize, could I justify spending more time doing it? Could I put out more videos? Could I put out more of those shorts and whatnot? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And I'd like to say, yeah, we were talking in the green room, talking about, how much more we could do if we didn't have to work a day job, right? Well,
Yes.
Right.
If I could get monetized and, actually see some profit coming from it, maybe I could make it a full-time thing. That's much longer term. That's not something I expect to see happen in 6 months to a year, but that's the dream, right? Because they say if you could earn a living doing what you love, you never work a day in your life. Well, I'd like to not work anymore.
And Angela Straven says
Right.
they didn't roll out the new requirements just yet, although depending on who you talk to, some people are already seeing the new requirements reflected in their YouTube studios. Some still aren't seeing it in their YouTube studio.
I mean, like I said, I know that under the new requirements, I'm not even at the watch time yet, so it doesn't matter. Whenever they get around to me, I'm just trying to get the watch time up so that so that I can.
Yeah. And for me, in the short term, if I can get monetized, whatever monies I get in from like super chats and all that will be going towards buying more prices for my subs. Because as I said, every time I hit a milestone, I'm giving away stuff. I'm doing this for them, and I want them to be excited about, let's get her to the next milestone so that we can have this giveaway. And I'm trying to make each one a little bit better and bigger than the one before. So that's where I am in the short term. And long term, I would love to not have to work a full-time day job and just do this. That would be so much fun.
So Lando is a Russian turtle. Ah, Mr. Garibaldi. Lando, call me, Russian, not Centauri no more.
I asked him how big his tortoise was because he said he was letting it walk around and he had to find him.
Yeah. He's always looking for his turtles.
You just put a little leash on him.
And H Boomer, where do you see your channel 6 months, a year from now, and also with the changes to the YouTube partnership program?
Yeah, I was just looking at those. I'm a little ways off from where I need to be on that, but I'm hoping I'm still growing. I mean, it feels like a snail's pace sometimes, if I'm being totally honest with you. But like I said, I do need to be doing more on my end too, sharing things out, clipping and whatnot. But I don't know though. Sometimes, some weeks I do pretty well with views, though. I'll say that. I mean, I do get clicks sometimes. But yeah, I mean,
It's my thumbnails, I think, that do it for you, man.
you do some great thumbnails here. But mainly, though, I'll be honest with you, I got involved in this because I was just getting tired of seeing what I was seeing happen in pop culture. I was wanting to figure even if I'm doing my little part, I mean, that's basically what I was here for. Because let's face facts, there are a lot of people with bigger influence than I have that are kind of shilling for things they shouldn't be shilling for. They're not being honest, and that's sort of why I got involved.
Even ones that started out, fighting the good fight, and have kind of
Whatever it takes to get that cheap money, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
It's really sad.
I got to cheat on my channel. In all of our streams, both Troy's and mine, I've got my PayPal link up. So even though I'm not getting super chats, if someone wants to buy Troy a drink on Friday nights, they can PayPal us through my PayPal me. If they want to give me a quote-unquote super chat, they can PayPal me.
Yeah. Actually, that's actually turned out to be pretty cool. I started this a couple weeks ago. I said, look, if you want to buy me a drink, I'll give you a shout out. You will have sponsored the drink for the night. And someone and when you do, tell me what drink you're buying me. So someone put in, that I won't say how much they sent me, but they sent me some bucks, and they were like a double iced White Russian. I started thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm not just gonna, thank them and drink the drink. I'm gonna give them a song as well. So I at the opening of the show, I thanked the sponsor of the drink for the night, and I dedicated From Russia with Love to go with the White Russian. And then the following week, somebody bought me a Tequila Sunrise. So, well, it's obvious what I sang, right? And so yeah.
Sunshine Lollipops?
Yeah, so that's gone over pretty well. So at least I can pay for my booze.
Well, when Mike gets to that level, he's going to be like Krusty the Clown, become a shell. Pacific Brand cereal, Pacific Brand this, Pacific Brand that. Yeah.
Welcome to Krusty's Comedy Classics. KKK. Oh, that's not good.
And the funniest part was he was at the Apollo when he was.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. I love that. That character is without a doubt my favorite character on the show, specifically because Krusty the Clown, and they've actually said this. The creator of the show actually specifically said he based Krusty the Clown, or I think it was the voice actor said he was basing Krusty the Clown on Bob Bell, who played Bozo here in the Chicagoland area. And I grew up with Bozo, and I totally could hear it. It definitely, he had that, because he was a big smoker. Welcome, boys and girls. It's like, wow. I totally got that.
Well, dude, that.
Great.
Go ahead. Well, what's always great, of course, is the Krusty camp. Please don't be the boy. Please don't be the boy.
Yeah.
That's what Kat says about me all the time. Please don't be parent. Please don't. But what's great is with having cable and WGN being on the cable network, I got to enjoy the Bozo show. Bozo and Cookie the Clown and all
Yep.
that. And here I am in my teens. I'm still watching it because there was just something about it that was magic.
Yep. Oh, that was great. The what was the Bozo buckets? And oh gosh, it was great. In fact, you can even find on YouTube now some of the outtakes from the Bozo buckets because the kids would do these things and just watching the clowns just trying to keep it straight, keep them in line. So we want you to put your feet right up against the line. Don't move from there. And throw it into bucket number 1, right? Okay, bucket number 1. Okay, you want a this or that and the other. Okay, now you stay where you're at. Walks around, puts it in bucket number 2, and everyone starts laughing. And Cookie comes in with the prizes, and he's laughing. And okay, please. I'm going to lose my job. Keep your feet behind the line and throw the ball to bucket number 3. No, she walks and she goes. You can find that clip. It's hysterical. It is just hysterical.
Oh, I was thinking about I think he was a 3-year-old boy who kept going each bucket to put the ball in, and then walks up to bucket number 6, drops it in.
Takes the coin out.
Right, yeah, he puts the ball in, then he looks. He goes, mine, and walks away. And he just walks away. And they're like, oh, wait, come back. You got prizes.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Oh, Jedi Bill, hi. Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have TV like that no more. I mean,
no,
they want to take away the innocence of children, and people have said this before. It's like even when you watch old shows of movies, and they just... I mean, when we've gotten to the point where kids are watching Transformers and they're talking about their pronouns, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and we've also lost the ability to... whenever you end up with these puritanical people, and I don't care, it used to be the religious right, now it's the loony left. I don't care what extreme you're on. When you start, this kind of, constriction of thought and expression, the first thing to go is comedy. You can't have comedy if you have to be afraid of offending everybody. And what I was just talking about, those natural... the Bozo show, it was, they did sketches that were pre-planned. They did, in a way, it was like the Tonight Show, but for kids. It was, and it was reality TV for its day. But those clowns were old time comedians, and they knew how to play off each other, and you knew that so much of that show was unscripted. That was the original reality TV, and it was it was those genuine moments that would make you laugh. Nowadays, everyone's afraid to be genuine. Everyone's afraid to improv. Otherwise, you're going to upset somebody.
Pre-recorded.
Yeah. And it's got to be approved in advance.
I mean, how many times do the sets fall over and they're just cracking up?
And that was part of the shtick. Yeah, they'd work that in, and it was great.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
That's why I miss stuff even like the old Mad TV and stuff. Lower
yeah.
Where they had 2 couples and they had other couples, and they had one where the UPS guy was always running, and so there was all these stereotypes all the time, and it just was funny. The Arnold thing, he's like, don't bring up Bob Patterson, and he goes, Bob Patterson, and he says, Arnold, it was funny when Will Sasso did that, or Kenny Rogers' Jackass.
Yeah. Well, I mean... You mentioned Mad TV, and it makes me think of the only thing that I can compare it to now is like the Babylon Bee. Someone who's going out of their way to be offensive to a certain group, kind of as a reactionary kind of thing, But back then, it wasn't mean-spirited. It was just, we're going to get everybody. And you're going to laugh. As long as you can laugh at yourself... even if you don't find this joke funny, you'll find the next one funny because you'll be laughing at someone else,
Yes.
But we've lost that kind of sense of humor,
They don't like, they say you have to punch up, not punch down. That's what they, I guess, reference to punchline, I guess.
Or maybe have a thick enough skin that if someone is punching down, you can still take it,
I mean, even SNL, they're afraid to make fun of The View, which is hilarious. Like, okay, you love making fun of Fox News, fine, whatever, but you don't want to make fun of The View? You don't want to make fun of these other talk shows? It's easy.
That's exactly.
Guys feed us material all the time.
When I was growing up, Saturday Night Live was funny because they made fun of every president. Didn't matter if it was Reagan or Carter. Yep. They both got it.
Clinton,
you know?
Eating at McDonald's was hilarious with Phil Hartman, or the Janet Reno
or Daryl Hammond
party.
when he was Clinton too.
Yeah.
Chevy Chase falling down all the time, being Ford.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it didn't matter. You know, it was. Look, if you are a public figure, you are game for the humor. And you know, when one president was out and another one comes in, they go, okay, who looks the most like him and who could do a good impression of him? You know,
or their wife.
Or their wife. Yeah, exactly. Or whatever it is. Yeah.
I mean, Dana Carvey doing his George Bush impression.
I remember that.
Oh God, he was good. He really was good.
Well, what I love about it is, you know, about the last day of George H.W. was in the White House before he left. He had Dana Carvey come over and stay because he did that impersonation, and then Dana Carvey went into the bit with George right next to him about calling the Secret Service. That, yep, I'm going to go out now. Going to go have a jog. Going out naked. You know. and Bush is just laughing his tail off next to him.
Yeah, and so as soon as you strip away the ability to offend, then you strip away the ability to create humor, you know, right. And that's what's really sad about entertainment today. And you know, we were talking in the green room too about, you know, why does everything suck these days? Well, that's part of it. It's you're not allowed to humor's not allowed, right? Romance is not allowed. Violence, well, depends. Certain kinds of violence against certain people is allowed.
Right.
I mean,
I really think that our generation is more thick-skinned. It's like we don't let this stuff bother us. All the youngins, they're like, oh no, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, get over it.
I've often said, you know, there was truisms that we were taught that I think our generation failed to pass on. For example, who remembers this one? That's not fair. Well, get used to it, kid. Life's not fair.
Yep.
Right.
Well, I think there's a whole generation that needs to learn that all over again.
Oh, yeah. What's with participation awards? Come on.
Yeah, what is that nonsense? Oh, you lost today, but here's a trophy. I get it. You give trophies at parks for teams, and that's been going on for generations, but it never was called a participation trophy. You just lost. And you get a trophy afterwards. Whoop, that's nice. You get a team party, that's nice. Want to do something nice for the kids or the team or whatever. But now it's like you get your participation trophy. And now it's like, oh, well, if you were born this way, then you go into this sport and then you beat these people, and you're erasing actual biological women. I know that upsets people, but that's reality. You know, that's ridiculous.
But again, this is the cultural Marxism, right? Instead of it being, you know, the bourgeois versus the proletariat, making it a social class thing. Now it's we're gonna divide by race, we're gonna divide by gender, we're gonna divide by imagined genders. We're going to divide in every way that we possibly can. And you look around and you're like, okay. Now I see the LGB community wanting to distance themselves from the TQIA plus community, you know, and women saying, hey, wait a minute, you know, the feminists saying, no, wait a minute, we fought to have these rights, not for, you know, men to come and say they're women and take those rights then for themselves back. That's not fair. Well, guess what?
Yep.
You know?
Where's now right now? Where's the National Organization of Women? They should be the first ones on the line.
Yep.
They're being called TERFs now. That's what happens. Oh, no, I don't want to be called a TERF, right? Yeah. You know?
Yeah, we had a story about an actress over in England who's complaining about them trying to get rid of the Best Actress category in Oscars, and because people were pushing for it to be a non-binary category, and then
Right.
now she's
Yeah,
getting yelled
and-
at and being called a turf.
And right, and they're also pushing for now lately. What was it? The Oscar voters are sending backlash to the Oscars because they're like, "What are you telling us? Oh, now you're saying this has to have this kind of person and this. We have to check these boxes now. That's going to make horrible things for Best Picture because we're going to be more focused on the checkbox than the actual story, the characters. It's going to get ridiculous."
Well, it's working for the subs having the diversity hires.
Well,
When
I went there.
Look
When
at
I
how
was-
bad our government is. I would say a lot of those people are diversity hires. Oh no, did you hear that? Yeah, come get me, YouTube. But yeah.
When I was a kid, and Sesame Street was actually, educational. I remember that they had a segment with the Muppets and everything, and what they were trying to teach was certain cognitive reasoning skills, right? And it was the segment "What Happens Next." Right? And you'd have these puppets in a situation, and one would say to the other, "Hey, if I were to do this, what happens next?" Well, what happens next is, and they'd talk it through, and they'd always do a little, ha-ha, like you'd have one of the monsters is sitting up on a pillar with the leg underneath the pillar, and the other monster would say, "Hey, what would happen if I pulled this pillar out from under you?" "Well, if you pulled the pillar out from under me, what would happen next is I'd fall down and hurt myself." And he goes, "Okay, well, let's try it." And he pulls it, and of course, he doesn't fall, and it's, meant to be like a joke kind of a thing. But it was this clever thing. What happens next? And, the reality is, little kids don't understand the concept of what happens next. They just do whatever. And it takes learning to understand the repercussions of one's actions, right?
Now, they did have a cartoon version of that. It was a girl with a balloon. And she's looking at her balloon. She goes, "I wonder what would happen if I popped my balloon." And her little brother was
I
nearby.
remember this one, right?
And she's like, if I pop my balloon, it would scare my little brother.
And he'd cry.
And then he'd cry. And if he cries, Mom will get mad. And I don't want Mom to get mad. So I'm not going to pop my balloon.
Yeah. So it's this whole idea of what happens next. And I just feel like so much of the business world, so much of the entertainment world has not learned this lesson. When we're sitting here going, get woke, go broke, we're trying to do that. We're trying to warn you. You go down this road, you're going to go broke. Anheuser-Busch,
Well, even with entertainment, with characters like Indiana Jones, we warned them about what they did with Luke Skywalker, and they're doing the same thing all over again.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way people are talking. I mean, I hope not.
I'm gonna go see it for myself, judge
Me
it for
too.
myself, and
It's fine.
if I see something, I'll say it. I'm not gonna, just
Exactly.
go to a movie and then come out and go, "Oh, this is great." While on the inside, I'm going, "Oh gosh, this movie was crap."
Yeah.
I've heard that so many times, and for me, it falls under the same thing. What happens next, right? I've learned my lesson. I have been burned far too many times with too many franchises, with too many films. I've come to know if I have a bad feeling about it, if I have heard rumors, if I have seen the previous 3-4 films suck, here's the logic. I go to the refrigerator, I take out the milk, and I smell it, and it's gone bad, and it's all chunky.
You-
I don't put it back in the fridge expecting it to be better tomorrow. So this is how I'm looking at movies these days. I will not be seeing Indiana Jones because I've already seen what they did to Willow, what they did to Star Wars repeatedly. Why do I expect Indiana Jones to be any different? And I've seen the previews, and I've heard the rumors, and I've heard the reports from everyone who's seen it. I don't need to waste my money, and I really don't need to give my money to Disney to do with my money what they're doing with my money. I'm not going to fund their agendas.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
That's why Mike is my guinea pig. I'm sitting him in there. He's like the canary, you know. It's like, well, if the cage comes back and he's dead, we won't see it, you know.
Well,
It's
like
as
I've said
simple as that.
before, Barrett, I'm a Cup fan. I'm used to punishment.
Oh,
That's why we
there
put
you
you
go,
out
right?
there, man. That's why we put you out there. But getting back to what we were talking about with the humor and how you can't have humor no more. And I've said I know several times on this show, but North Korea is probably one of the great filmmakers out there. They make so many movies because they're just obsessed. You know, the Uns are just so obsessed with films. Plus, they know it's a perfect propaganda tool.
Right.
The one thing you'll never find in their cinema is comedy. Why? Because how much comedy takes shots at the government and the people in charge, and they cannot have that.
Yep.
That's what we're facing here. When you just can't have the humor, it is the same thing. People, you're being just like Kim Jong Il Un. Whatever
Right.
the hell Cartman is. Whatever the hell Cartman is.
Whichever generation we're on, right, exactly.
Right, exactly.
I'm so lonely, like from
Mr. Ronry.
Team America World Police.
Yeah.
That movie
I
is
gotta say that
hilarious.
again.
Now we have trigger warnings, though, right?
Oh, of course. Yep. Don't go to a comedy club, especially certain places, or someone might call you racist or racist or whatever. I mean, this because of a joke you made. It's like, are you kidding me? Did you guys watch the Chappelle show? No? Oh, okay.
Well, or South Park itself. I mean, South Park is
Yes.
adulterated. Let's go after everybody. Are you offended? Fine.
Yep.
You're offended now. But wait a couple moments. You'll be laughing again.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to put a camera out there or their phone and record it and find, for some reason, Meghan Markle and Harry and go, I need my privacy. I need my privacy.
No.
Great.
That was the Prince of Canada, not Harry.
I know.
When the
But
Queen
it
of
just
Canada died,
fits so well because they
I
don't
know.
need their privacy. They're egomaniacs.
Oh, they are. Yeah. And then, well, think about it. Here Harry goes back over, has this lawsuit. He doesn't show up on the first day, and when he does show up, he's being called Harry. He gets pissed off, and it's like the judge reminds him, you renounced your title.
Right.
Yes.
You don't use your title no more.
Uh,
It's like, the only ones that use his title are stupid Americans.
Well, plus we got a book deal too, where he's the spare now, I guess.
yes,
Yeah,
and
he's a
the
third
nonsense from Netflix and both of them.
Oh, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Spare tiree. He's the spare tiree they keep in the booth.
But remember, Baron, they always need their privacy.
I need my privacy. Where's my privacy? I want my privacy. Where's your privacy? We all want it. Yes, we want privacy.
And then the fact that they wanted to sue Trey Parker and Matt Stone for
Wow.
I love
I
it.
didn't know that.
It's hilarious. Oh,
Well, yeah, they did, and it's
Yes.
like they've gone after everybody. There's no
Yes.
way. Yeah, you're public figures. You're morons. Go away. Or you're gonna get it again. Just ask Jared from Subway.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah.
Poor Jared. He didn't see it coming many times.
It's funny because there was a line in a Fight Club where they said, "Which celebrity would you like to beat up or punch?" And I thought at the time, Jared, the Subway guy, and I didn't know anything about this other stuff he was into. I just couldn't stand him from those commercials.
I worked for Subway. I worked for Subway when that came down, and it's like, and then we had. It was inside a medical center, and one of the guys that worked in the emergency department, his name was Jared.
Oh no!
He'd come in all the time.
Jared from Subway, great.
Yeah, well, Jared going to Subway, he's not
Oh,
Jared from Subway.
Okay.
Well, that's that, gentlemen. I will be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
What do you do now?
I'm sorry, what were you saying, Baron?
She's getting something. I said, what do you do now?
Actually, I just heard an alarm go off upstairs, so she's going to see what that's
okay.
about.
Oh, okay. Here I thought she was getting some ammunition.
Oh, maybe. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a possibility, too.
I know it is with me of the long suffering. You know.
I mean, I think it's funny, and I think more people should even be pushed to start creating their own stuff, because a lot of the industry is failing, and it's like there's an artist I know who's part of one of the groups that we've been talking about, and Jace is involved in it. We've talked about maybe making a game, and we're like, well, if you draw a woman in a miniskirt and I'll put it up on Twitter, we'll get instant feedback. But we'll also get a lot of how dare you? Why did you do this?
And this is something that I've been saying to a lot of content creators when they get the negativity, when they get the the criticisms and whatnot. I say all you got to do is say to them, okay, show me how it's done. Show me your channel. What have you been putting out? Oh, really? You're not doing it? Well, shut up then. I don't care what you have to say. Right. Really. And this is exactly what I'm seeing, because you got people like Kelly Sue DeConnick. If you don't like my politics, don't buy my book. Problem solved. And then 1 year later, well, we're really concerned because there's been a big deflation in the market, and we don't know where the comic book industry is going from here. Shocker, right? Then you look at Eric July, right? He's on his second book, over $1 million. It's like, it's not that people don't want comic books, they don't want your crap.
The hell you say?
Exactly.
Al Bundy was before his time, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
They also don't like seeing the things they love torn to shreds and then expect people to pay for it. I mean,
right.
I think we were talking this past weekend about what was going on with the Spider-Man comics, right? We were talking about the comics creators complaining about getting no money now. But,
yeah. Well, and this is the other thing too. No, every time they give you the gaslighting, right? That you don't like people of color in starring roles. You don't like women in starring roles. You don't like strong women, whatever. Right. It's like, no, I can give you examples of all the ones that I do like,
Mm-hmm.
But that's the difference. My problem is not the strong woman. It's you literally crushed a male figure to superimpose a woman. You are tokenizing that woman. You are tokenizing that person of color instead of creating a character from whole cloth. I think about Ripley, right?
Yes.
Didn't matter whether she was a man or a woman, she was a great character. But she wasn't a female character replacing a male character. She didn't have to put a guy down and make him less so that she could be more.
No, she didn't. And it's funny when you even in the past, I got into a random conversation a few years back on a comment section. This person trying to keep telling me that only women were in bikinis in games and movies and this and that. I'm like, well, what about Xena? And like you try to explain, what about Lara Croft? And they just keep going on. It's like, look, we're not going to be able to go.
And we can look at all the guys that had all kinds of shirtless scenes.
What about
well, what about in 2018, Aquaman, Jason Momoa?
Yes.
Why did that movie become a
success? And you know how many women I talked to?
Flocking to it.
How many women I talked to said, I'm not really into superhero movies, but I'll watch that movie all day,
Yeah. To see Jason
Momoa. Shocker.
But one problem, though, is, you're saying that you start pointing out the women that are strong, and then they'll sit back and do the thing like, well, you're just saying, like, you're not racist because you have black friends and stuff like that. It doesn't matter to them. You cannot reason and have a decent conversation with these people. These people, I'm telling you like cash.
These people. Always.
We know what's out
these
there.
drones.
Right.
And what's the next thing they do? They just turn around and just start doing the personal insults, the yeses and the faults. They have no basis for an argument. It'd be great if they came back to it. It's like, well, men never had. Well, let's see. Doc Savage, Man of Bronze. Conan the Barbarian. Frank Azara's artwork.
These are.
I'm telling you, women want the eye candy.
Yeah.
It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Conan. He was pretty good looking, wearing that little tiny long cloth.
And I will insist, even the straight guys want a good looking male lead, and the straight women want good looking female leads, not because they're drooling over them, but because they want to imagine that they could be them. You know,
exactly.
Yeah.
That's my self-insert.
It's James Bond.
We've gotten to the point, even in sports, Troy, and that we are saying now that quitting on your team is considered brave and progressive. What? Because of a certain race? Because of what Simone Biles did in the Olympics, and we're supposed to applaud that?
Yeah.
Because we're afraid because of what race she is? That's where we want to keep going with our society? Are we stupid? It's ridiculous.
Or what about? And I'm not saying this because you're a Dodger fan, Cash. I'm saying this because it actually happened.
Dodgers are doing better.
What about Dodger fans? Hey! Whoa! Hold on there. But anyways, my point, what I was gonna say was when a certain group gets invited to Dodger Stadium, and yeah, people were in the seats, but the majority of people were outside the stadium protesting.
No, even
that particular group that was invited.
Exactly, even in a blue state, because there's a lot of Catholics.
Yep.
Guess what? This group, they want to be this. Oh, YouTube, I won't say it because you might penalize this channel.
Yeah.
But
I'm for it.
I know you're for it.
That's what I say to Age of Boomer. It's not my channel. I don't care.
You pretend to be something, and you know what? I'm not upset that the Giants swept the Dodgers last week. They deserved it. They brought those knuckleheads there. That's right, YouTube. I said knuckleheads. They brought those knuckleheads there, and then they expect that people are just going to applaud them. I'm sorry. I don't care what group you are. We're not going to just basically worship you because you deserve special attention. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's not how society should work. We're supposed to come together as people and actually be better.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I mean, all I gotta say is I want you to treat me special here. And with all the stress that I've been going through on the show, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to back out now. So I'm gonna have to...
That time I did kick him out.
That was perfectly timed though. But see, and this is, I don't always follow his channel, but Jordan Peterson has been talking for years about this concept of intersectionality. He's like, and that's the problem. You drive the wedge, men and women, and then you go, but it's not just men and women, it's men and women and gay and trans and bi, and and you keep whittling it down, and then you start going, well, I can't see myself in that character because they're not the same color, the same gender, the same age, the same hair color, eyes, whatever. Eventually you get to the point where you can't see yourself in that character on the screen because they're not you. And this is what and what anyone who goes to consume entertainment knows is I actually don't want to see myself on the screen. I would cringe if I saw myself on the screen. I don't go to movies to see, overweight, old, bald, half Italian guys, I don't. I want to, that's not who, I already am me. I don't want to imagine being that.
There was a movie where they did have someone that represented.
Yeah, that's why I always went to see Danny Aiello films, right?
I can't see Return of the Jedi anymore because I see Jabba the Hutt there. It just kind of hits a little too hard to me.
Well, yeah, right.
Your new friend Gorlock.
You're green?
Your new friend Gorlock, Baron.
Oh yeah, Gorlock. Do I have Gorlock green? I should see if I got Gorlock. Gorlock the Destroyer. Oh, I don't have Gorlock on this one. Oh well, but I do have cash money from Wish.
Gosh,
love the hair.
That's crazy. That's a police officer in the UK, right? Yeah, UK.
She's not just she's like the head of the department.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. I don't think you want to mess
because the other guy died. Yeah, the other guy died. She was second
crazy.
command. She got the job. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It is funny. She's got that hair like Vash from Trigun.
I saw that. I thought instantly, there is Mrs. Cash Money right there.
I can't. I'm sure that person is rough around the edges. I have a feeling, especially since she's a police officer or she's the head of the department. So.
I think she diddled the light socket.
They should do a movie where she's teamed up with Jason Statham.
They could.
Maybe she's trying to emulate Goku.
Yeah, right.
Maybe so.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, everything. A lot of stuff is considered wrong. A lot of stuff is, this is right, but this is wrong. We can't. When we tell people are also like, oh, biology. Well, there's kind of a gray area. No, there is not a gray area. Biology exists.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't make the science argument in one thing and then throw it out for the other thing. You can't keep moving the goalposts that way.
Yeah, that's exactly what they keep doing, is changing the goalposts.
Hell, we can't even find the goalpost anymore at this point.
Yep.
I just say something that's very. I can't see it. I'll get us in trouble. But it's about men trying to find things.
Baron, I found your buddy, dude.
Oh, there I am. There I am. That's me. There we go. Me in all my glory.
It's unexclusive too.
Obi, my stepdaughter brought her cat in living here, and Obi is El Diablo Gato. Get away, you stupid cat. I don't like you. Nobody likes you.
But I think the bottom line is that people, and you know, I've told younger people this many times. You want the secret to happiness, okay? You have to understand the world around you. You've got to live in reality.
Yes.
If you keep focusing on how unfair things are, how things ought to be, and that's how you keep living your life, you're going to be miserable. But if you accept that this is the way it is, this is the way things ought to be, and I will try to make the world more like that, that's fine. But you have to understand that it's not that way. It's probably never going to be that way. Deal with reality first, and you'll always be happier.
Yeah, unfortunately, the youngins these days don't know what reality is.
No,
not at all.
Well, they think everything's like a video game or it's like a TikTok video.
Oh gosh, TikTok. Anytime I hear something about, this is a TikTok hack, it's like, okay, what you're talking about, we've been doing for millennia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, and the thing is, you know, I just started playing
Hello,
GTA.
Strike.
Yeah, it's true. And I've been starting to play GTA 5. And one of the guilty pleasures the long suffering I have is watching videos like stupid idiot drivers or truck drivers.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, how swift drivers are not so swift. I always knew that. Working in warehouses, I knew that. But watching the people drive and how they drive, and then me playing on GTA 5, I'm absolutely convinced this is where this generation learned how to drive.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing that drives me up the wall is people not being aware of what's going on around them because they're too focused in their phones, right? So I'll be driving down the street, right? And I've been driving on expressways all my life. You know, I've been driving city streets all my life. And I'm an old guy, so it's, you know, a lot of years of experience, right? So I see, okay, what to watch out for. And I see the moron doing something stupid. So I know to get over, I know to slow up, I know to whatever. Mm-hmm. And so many times, and Ned will tell you this too, something will happen, and she'll be like, oh my gosh, did you see that? I'm like, see it? I knew it was going to happen long before it ever happened. You know? Wow. There was, we were in middle of winter, we're on I-90, ice. As far as you can see, it's late at night. There's ice. I'm all the way in the right lane, and there is a car just zips right by me. Bzzz, yeah. Right behind him is a semi, and he's he's not going as fast, but he's going pretty fast. And I start to slow up a little bit, and Netter's like, "What are you doing?" All of a sudden, that car spun out. The truck tries to avoid him, starts to turn, starts to jackknife, and it's coming right at me. I started to go a little bit faster and got right past all of it. She's like, wow! And I'm like, yeah, I knew something like that was going to happen. I was already prepared for something to happen. So that when it happened, I was ready to react.
And there was a
The
car
first-
behind the truck that slammed right into the back of it.
Yeah. Yeah, the truck did end up crashing into the car, and I was already well past it, so I luckily didn't see exactly what happened. 'Cause
I did.
It was probably pretty bad.
It was very grisly.
Well, keep in mind it was a shorter sports car, taller truck, so
yeah.
you know how the physics on something like that works.
Yeah, I saw it all. It was not pretty.
Yeah.
Optimus Prime smeared.
Yeah.
You're describing June in Minnesota there. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the guy totally lost his head over the situation.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Probably.
Well, that's just it. You're absolutely right. But you know what? I do have to take a shot at our generation and even the boomer generation. How many times in the old days, driving along and the person is either shaving in the car as they're driving, or they're reading the newspaper?
Ugh, goodness.
Yep, and the ladies are putting on their makeup.
Yeah, they're farting in the cars. F-A-R-D, fart.
Or driving with their feet.
Yeah.
I've seen people drive with their feet.
Yeah.
You know, now you're making me think about John Candy in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh.
When he's trying to get the coat off and he gets stuck, and then the other side gets stuck, and now he's got no arms and he can't reach the wheel anymore.
And he's driving with his knees.
He's driving with his knees.
I remember that.
Ah!
Well, you want to know a stupid thing I did when I was 16, 17? I had a big old boat, a green 1977 Chrysler Cordoba with rich Corinthian leather. It was green. Everything was green, including the rich Corinthian leather.
Oh, God.
And I since 16 or what, I've always smoked a pipe. I was the only juvenile delinquent that smoked a pipe. But I would be driving, and I'd pack my pipe, and start packing my pipe while I'm driving, and ooh, nice.
Yep.
Elementary. And I was here with my because I'm packing my pipe. And then, of course, I was young and stupid, but luckily, I never got in an accident. Luckily.
Yeah. Yes.
I was stupid. I admit it.
And there's so many times where, I mean, if you just sit and watch people on their phones, and you just watch, and you're like, that person is going to walk into that pole. Boing! And then you're just like, yep. Yeah,
well, you know what you're hitting on there is exactly what comedy's about.
Yep.
It's us being stupid.
Yep.
It is. And whether people like it or not, stereotypes are there for a reason. They're not the end-all, be-all, but you can find stereotypes in just about everybody, and that's what we make fun of.
Yes.
I mean, look at Fargo. Should I have been offended with Fargo being a Minnesota?
Yeah.
Should I have? I mean,
Yes.
No.
Sure.
Maybe. No.
If you heard anything, that was Obi rushing against my mic, so my apologies.
And it's also the way you respond to things, right? If you walk into a mailbox like someone said or whatever, you can get upset, but it's not the mailbox's fault, right? Netter will tell you, I walk into things all the time, and I know full well I've just walked into an inanimate object. Oh, pardon me, pardon me.
I do the same thing.
And it's like, and people look at me like I'm nuts because I'm talking to a coat rack or something. Oh, excuse me, pardon me.
Thank God I'm not the only one that does that.
Oh, yeah. Why do I do it? Because I find it amusing.
Yeah, exactly.
Drop it down.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah,
I gotta reel him in.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you, I don't envy him. Well, I mean, that reminds me again when I was young and not quite legal. We work at the Amico station, but we'd have a meeting sometimes at the local Applebee's. Mm-hmm. And yeah, there was a little underage drinking. They let us do it. I was never carded until after I was 21. And we were done with the meeting. We start walking out, and I start walking on the crosswalk. Well, one of the guys goes, "Hey, there's a car coming." And I basically look back. My upper torso stays in one spot. My lower part keeps on walking. And before I know it, I'm laying on my back on the road. And all I can do is laugh. I'm laughing. I look over. I look over. My friends are laughing. I look at the lady in the car. She's laughing. I am laughing so hard I can barely roll myself over and crawl back onto the sidewalk because I'm laughing so hard.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's great stuff. That's
right.
that's the kind of stuff life's about,
Yeah, I mean, Like you're working in the kitchen or something, you accidentally break a dish. You're like, how did that happen? Isn't that
Gravity.
right?
So how many times have you done this? You're going to open up a chip bag, and you're struggling, and all of a sudden, whoosh, everywhere.
Yeah, that can happen. Yeah.
And it's just like, you have to laugh.
Yep.
And then I'm covered with dogs because they're trying to get all the chips.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, but at least you've got vacuum cleaners like that to clean them up.
Exactly.
I don't have that, so I have to do it myself.
They make these bags so hard to open for some reason. It's like, what is this nonsense? Like, it's just crazy. And so you're just struggling and struggling.
Well, then I got this one here saying, we've got scissors all over the place. Just cut it open.
Right, that happens too.
Scissors, knives, sword.
Yep.
Yeah, but a number of people wouldn't say that because they want to be perfect. Everything they do is perfect. And then you have these people on social media who want to talk about their lives so much. It's like, even some of these YouTubers, it's like, why do you tell us these things?
No.
Why do you bring this to the public? What's wrong with you?
Oh, yeah,
These
there
people.
are so many, like, videos I'll come across. And a lot of them I'll find, like, on Facebook, and they'll do, like, these little short vids. And there's this one woman who is eating different, like, fruits and vegetables and then going, oh, yeah, it's really good. Oh, yeah, it's a little crunchy, but that's still good. And then she eats a ghost pepper.
Oh, no.
And she takes a big chunk out of this thing.
No.
And she's sitting there. And all of a sudden she's doing the and trying to get it out of her mouth. And she's drinking down water and she's freaking out. It's like, why would you put this on the internet where you're looking like an absolute fool?
And
Attention. They have to have that attention 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
They're
Have to be
narcissists.
there. Yes, they are.
well, and realizing too, Netter and I have come to this realization since YouTube started all these shorts, right? Watch a couple of these shorts, which are basically YouTube's answer to TikTok.
Right.
And it's like, this can't possibly be just somebody, recording. This has to be staged. There is no way. It's like the boyfriend playing the prank on the girlfriend, right? And her response is so funny, and it's like, this was rehearsed. She's got to see him holding the phone, recording her.
Yep.
Duh,
Yep.
And they take so long doing the lead up, and it's like, it's boring.
Oh, those ones make me crazy.
Well, that's true.
Where it's like, okay, we're going to reveal this thing. And then, they'll start to reveal it. And then it's like, well, first we're going to be, da-da-da, and you got to do this and this. And it's like, I just skip to the end. I want to just know what happens. I don't care about your middle bits of trying to build up because you're just ticking me off.
Yeah, I was
All those
looking at a
false
video
starts?
just today where I was trying to figure something out with DaVinci Resolve, and I wasn't doing it right. And I'm watching the video, and it's 10 minutes in. The guy still hasn't explained how to do certain features in DaVinci Resolve, and I'm thinking to myself, just get to the point.
Yep.
I was watching a Pacific 4 and 4 a couple weeks back. It was kind of the same thing, too, with the topics.
Well, at least somebody's watching it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Cash Money, you fast forward to the end, and the guy goes, oh, yeah, by the way, and how to do the da-da-da, you just push this button.
Yeah.
So something I was starting to say earlier is I'm not going to movies anymore. I mean, very rarely.
Yeah, I don't.
There isn't much I'm watching. People ask me, what am I watching on TV? I don't watch TV anymore. We got rid of cable. This is my entertainment. Watching you guys and, the other channels, on YouTube. It's YouTube videos that I'm watching. The other nice thing is I don't specifically have to watch it at any given time. If I can't, be there live, I'll watch it Memorex anytime I want to. It's
like most nights when I get off work, Troy's got some vids already queued up for me. He goes, so we watch Grace Still Plays, or as I call it, Grace Still Murders.
Yeah, or Call Me Kevin,
Call
or
Me
whatever.
Kevin.
These people playing these crazy games that I would have no interest in playing, but it's hysterical to watch them play them.
You were playing Goat Simulator though.
I was playing Goat Simulator. That is,
Funny game.
yeah. So Age of Boomer, just out of the blue, he just as a gift, he says, "Go into Steam. You got a game to download." And I started playing this, and Netta and I are laughing so hard. It's the dumbest thing in the world. She's like, well, what's the point? It doesn't seem like you can die. I'm like, I don't know, but it's fun.
Speaking of that, Troy, I had a conversation with another one of my friends a while back, and he says,
friends?
"Why do people?" I do. Why do people play this game entitled Goose Game? And I said, it's a goose. It does stupid things. And why is it made so much money? He's like, we can make a game like this. I said, it's just stupid and it's fun. And even you can make goose sounds that some of these.
Yeah, there's
it's ridiculous. It's a stupid game. This goose goes into the farm. He steals the keys and does this stuff. Then this guy makes goose sounds. I'm like, people don't understand. You don't need to limit yourself on your stream.
Yeah,
to an extent, but when you're playing games
and
or
this
whatever.
this is what I'm saying. You know, it is kind of the freedom that's come from platforms like YouTube and whatnot that give people the opportunity. Look, I'm tired of waiting for good entertainment. I'm going to do things that entertain myself, and maybe some other people will be interested in what I do too.
Right.
You know,
That's right.
Yeah,
Well, it's like every morning, like clockwork, I'm there watching Loki's Mornings of Mischief.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because he's entertaining. He's engaging.
Yeah. He's like the morning chat shows we used to watch, you know, before we go to school, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or even the morning DJs when we actually
The
had
morning
good-
DJs on the drive-in, right,
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
Stuff that over here, like when K-Rock, you have stuff like Loveline, you had stuff where they were doing funny things even after somebody died, like Frank Sinatra, they had him from heaven, and it was funny.
Yeah.
And people were still laughing at that
Yeah.
time. Of course, that was the 90s, late 90s, but they were still laughing because it was funny.
All right. You got yourself the DJs on the shows. They know exactly what they're talking about. They know how to talk. I tell you what. We're going to spin some platters for you on the old platter router. And I'm your DJ here. Have a good time. Ow! You know,
It's the Wolfman Jack Show. Ow!
And that's like on K-Rock, that's basically where somebody like Jimmy Kimmel started. So for him to change so much, it's just it sucks, man.
Yeah,
Troy,
it
I
does.
met him many years ago when they were doing a signing on the K-Rock radio station, and I never thought in a million years this man would change so much, and the late night sucks pretty much. Even Conan changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Conan O'Brien of all people.
Yeah. I really feel like there was a paradigm shift at some point. It was the same thing. Netta and I met Mark Hamill at a convention back in the early 90s. He was having a rough time, but he was still really, really nice. But I wouldn't want to meet him now, you know?
No, I don't want to really meet him now either, man.
Well, you know, I had sympathy for Will Wheaton for the longest time.
Yeah.
Sure,
Because of how he was treated because of Next Generation. And
Right,
then you
right.
start, you know, you start seeing him on the Big Bang Theory being a jerk. It's like you find out, no, he wasn't acting.
Okay,
right.
Will Wheaton Will Wheaton is the reverse for me. When we first met him, during the time that he was on that show, he was an ass.
Yeah, I
and
was his
he's
bodyguard.
always been an ass, and that's never changed. So
Yeah.
at least he hasn't changed, you know.
Yeah, it's like
See, I never knew
one of the
anything
first
about
conventions I did with him. I ended up being his bodyguard, so we had to walk him from his room to the stage, and then and we knock on his door to get him, and he just rips up the door and looks at us. He goes, "You're not my PA. Where is she?" I'm like, "I don't know." And then she comes in right behind us because I guess she had to go fetch something for him, and he's screaming at her, "Where's my deodorant? Where's my shirt?" And she's like, it's much quieter. Here's your stuff. Here's your stuff. And then it's like he finally deems to make himself presentable to come out so we can walk him to the stage, and he's acting like he's the king of everything. And it's like, well, I need a private elevator to take me down so I'm not mobbed. And I'm thinking, boy, nobody's gonna mob you.
No. Hey, at least luckily, maybe I should have seen him back in that day, but I just know that I felt sorry because of how he was treated because the character sucked. Let's face it. I mean, Wesley Crusher was one of the
It
worst
wasn't very
characters.
good. Compared to now, though,
Well, I'm not comparing it to now. I'm not comparing it to now. I am not doing that at all.
You almost could, though. This whole concept of self-insert characters is always he was a Mary Sue, right? He was the Gene Roddenberry self-insert. You know, he was the Ray of his time.
Right. Yeah,
You know?
that's true. I agree. And
At
when
that time, oh, sorry.
when you do a self-insert, even of yourself, you need to make yourself more interesting. Like these people who do the thing, what was it? I am not Starfire. Yeah, I am not Starfire. That
Oh
nonsense.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was easy to mock because this woman's like, well, if you don't want to buy it, then don't buy it. Okay, cool.
Or
And so
Mindy
all
Cohn with the Velma thing.
Oh no.
Oh gosh, yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we're going to give it a second season. Yay! No.
Just
You know, the best self-insert characters are the ones that you don't even realize. It's because a good character for a self-insert is one that is kind of like a narrator character, someone that the entire audience can get the exposition through and so forth. Yeah. And then you, in an interview, you hear, "Oh yeah, you know, I use this character as my self-insert," and it's like, "Oh, okay, now I see it." You know, those are usually likable characters because it wasn't just a self-insert for the writer. Yes. But he's using it as a self-insert for the entire audience. That's the way it should be.
Yeah, he's the eyes for us into the universe.
Exactly.
Right, and if you're going to do a self-insert of yourself, you need to make yourself a lot more interesting.
Right.
That's really what it is.
But not the center of attention, right? Because the audience is there to see all of them, right? Not themselves in the action. You know,
So
we haven't gotten to VR just yet.
No, we're working on it. But that's the same thing. It's like with these writers, they're all nervous. A lot of them are replacing by AI. Well, you did a lot of this stuff to yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, not sorry, but you did a lot of this stuff to yourself.
Right. I've said this many times. It's not that AI has gotten so good. It's that the writing has gotten so bad that by comparison, AI actually looks good.
That's a sad thing. It really is.
Yeah. You know, generic rehashes by AI is actually better than the crap that, you know, some of these writers are putting out now.
The AIs get it.
Right. And I have these conversations with other friends of mine, too, about, like, listen, if you want to watch this, I do not, by the way, Phil. Get that off the screen. I see that. But anyways,
our resident troll, Phil McCracken.
Yes, he is.
In fact, I'm sorry, Cash. I got to break in on this one. We have to do this because he is here.
Phil McCracken, worst troll ever.
I love that.
Okay, back to you. Back to you, Cash.
Yeah, the writers, the scripts that they're coming up with now. Even when you talk to other people, your friends, other friends. I had a conversation with somebody I'm working with on some projects. Actually working with on them, Troy, and they're like, "Well, She-Hulk. This is just an example. She-Hulk isn't for men. I don't think She-Hulk's for anybody. I think She-Hulk's an insult to She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Well, and the creator admitted it to the press, which is the dumbest thing on earth.
And here's the other thing. You know, this whole idea, it's not for you. First, who is it for? And B, why isn't it for everyone?
Exactly.
The smart money is create a character that everyone's going to like. But you are writing these geniuses in Hollywood now are writing stories that only they care about. And that's why they're going broke.
They only care about them, and they only understand them.
Right.
Nobody else does.
Why did Star Wars succeed? Because you had people who were not into science fiction or fantasy. But they loved the characters and the story. Why do you have people out there saying, I am not a science fiction fan, but I watch Star Trek? Because that, for some reason, grabbed them. They're not interested in anything else science fiction, but they're grabbed on that. Star Wars grabbed the entire population to make it the huge success it was because it spoke to people. They could identify with Luke Skywalker. If you're a farmer wanting to get off the farm, and you can identify that. You can identify the racing with Han Solo and the Falcon. everything across the board. Even my grandfather, who was a World War II vet, could identify with the Empire and the fight that they had going.
Right.
The other thing that I think so much of entertainment is missing today, and I think that all of our channels are great examples of our thirst for it, is the things that we enjoy, we want to be able to share. We want to be able to have conversations with people. Did you see that in the thing and oh yeah, and when he said this and you get excited about it, right? Now what you're doing is, did you see that? Oh, it was terrible. Oh, I liked it. Well, and now we're fighting. Because it represented you, and I'm just a white male, and I can't possibly understand and it's driving the wedges. And that's why they're doing this, right? Because they specifically are trying to divide us. But it ain't fun. That's why nobody's going to these movies or subscribing to these streaming services or whatever the case is. Right.
I just want to let you know, Troy, I'm Norwegian, you're Italian. I can't identify with you, okay? I really can't identify with you at all. What is this?
Well, because you're a goat.
That's bad. That's bad.
That was bad. Yeah.
No means no. No means no. No, sorry. That was from a bad joke. Sorry.
But I can tell you, Troy, that there's still a few new things. Like there's Lucky Hank, but of course Bob Odenkirk is starring in that. He's starring in that show. And then there's stuff like Animal Control that actually ticked off PETA. I'm like, that is definitely a show I want to keep watching because it makes PETA upset. That's a win.
Yep.
That's a huge win.
Oh, there was a show last year that I kept telling Cash about, saying you got to watch this. It's a great show, and that was The Old Man with Jeff Bridges and John Lithgow.
Yes,
that was a very good show.
It is. Yes,
You
I'm glad there's going to be a second season. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Going back to what you were saying, Troy, earlier about not watching any TV, and I'm in the same boat. I mean, if I do watch, it's like Pluto TV, some of the old shows.
Yeah.
And all that. But the only new thing I'm really watching is On Patrol Live on Reels. The ride along with the cops, which used to be Live PD when it was on
Sure.
A&E. And then, of course, they got the other series, Jail. And I'm kind of wrapped in that one, me and the missus. Other than that, there's nothing out there. I mean, those aren't scripted shows, obviously. One's live and the other one's, reality shows.
The fact is that there is plenty of old media out there just waiting to be discovered. We've got Tubi, right? And there's so much on there. Let's face it, not all of it's good. But then you have someone like Big Al Presents doing reviews of all these obscure films, and every now and again he'll mention one that sounds really good, and I'll be like, oh, okay, well, I'll go check that out. Oh, okay, I'm glad I saw that. Or every now and again he'll come up with something that's really, really bad, like Ouija Shark, and I'll go, okay, now I'm curious. Now I got to see how bad this is.
It was horrid.
That's bad. That's bad.
And then of course you can go over to Devo TV, and they have Firefly for free.
Yeah.
Yes.
Firefly was one that I didn't see until after the show had run its course, and I was like, okay, everyone's telling me to check it out. I checked it out, and I literally had just finished the series on DVD when Serenity was released. So I wasn't in the situation where I had to wait. It was kind of nice to be able to get that resolution. Not everyone got that.
Because Fox screwed that show so hard, and they've screwed other shows, just like ABC.
Many shows, yes.
Agent Carter. And when I had this conversation about Agent Carter, Troy, it was like, oh, well, a lot of men said they hated that show because a woman started. Who said that? Who?
Nobody, no straight guy I ever talked to.
Man, Agent Carter is a badass, and I don't care what anybody says about that show. That was a quality show with a strong, what you like to call female character. That was a strong female character. And now we have to change Carter into Captain Carter. Yes, I get that what if, but she doesn't need to be Captain Carter.
And meanwhile, we will never, never, never get a Captain Britain film of any kind.
No. Oh, God, no.
And, one of the things I liked about Peggy Carter in the first Captain America was the way Haley Atwell portrayed her.
Yes.
Yeah, she's hot.
I loved.
Oh, that's not what you meant.
She's an attractive
woman.
Oh,
that too. That helped too.
Yes, but her love for for Steve, and it didn't matter if he was thin or not.
Yeah.
She loved his personality.
Yep.
Just loved that he was willing to do whatever it took to basically be a better person or help society or
Yep.
help America and stuff, because he's supposed to be the symbol of America. And so changing him to gay or whatever you want to do, and then that not selling with the comics because they had Captain Gay or whatever it was.
Right.
And he throws like a trash can. It's like, why would people be excited? Some people may, a lot of people won't. And then you get mad at people because this didn't sell. Well, why do you think it didn't sell? Take a guess.
But and this is what everybody is missing about character building, right? Nobody cares whether the character is white or black, male or female. What they care about is those character elements, right? The how clever the person is, how willing to stand up for what's right. You know, the things that you find admirable, right?
Yep.
But unfortunately, this tokenization
Yep.
does away with all those positive character things that you can relate to and admire, and you reduce them down to their color, their gender, who they like to sleep with, and that's all that's important about them.
Yeah,
and nobody can respect that.
All these shows nowadays are always about so much sex all the time. Sex. Shouldn't there be more to the character? No, he gets laid. Like, this is not the show Hung on HBO, if you ever watched that.
I did, yeah.
That was a fun show.
It was.
There was so much more to the character than him just sleeping.
And that was the point. In fact, it got to the point where, you know, he was doing this to earn a living, and he didn't kind of really want to be, you know?
No. And Thomas Jane has even said in an interview that, I actually sucked at guys, whatever. I had no money, and I did this. And it's like, are we supposed to hate the guy? I mean, it's weird to a lot of people, but, you know, he did it. He didn't have money, so,
Cash, $20 is $20. You should know that by now.
I don't know. Maybe he got paid more, but, you know, he's always been open about his sexuality. But even The Punisher, I don't hate that movie that he was in. I thought it was pretty enjoyable, actually.
Oh, I love The Punisher.
Did you see Dirty Laundry?
No, I haven't seen Dirty
Laundry. Oh, that's good.
Gotta check it out. It's a great follow-up. It was his passion project. It's him basically returning to the role. It's not called The Punisher because, you know, he can't officially call it The Punisher, but yeah, check it out. Dirty Laundry. It's probably out on YouTube somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good.
Netta really likes it. Very violent. I wouldn't have made her watch it, but she wanted to see it and she liked it. So I was like, I warned her.
I like The Punisher.
Oh yeah, it was The Punisher. Yeah.
Cool.
Captain Carter was pointless. Leave her as agent rather see Native American Captain America in What If. Actually, I'll tell you what. Talk about missed opportunities on Marvel's side. When Marvel did their Ultimates, they had this great bit where they had, like, every country had their own Captain whatever. And I wanted at least one issue of a comic for each one of them. I wanted to see Captain Italy. I wanted to see Captain, Paraguay, whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so go ahead, Baron. Oh, go ahead.
I would love to see Captain Britain.
Yeah.
I mean, they love to, they push for Judge Dredd, which is great. I love Judge Dredd. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'd love to see Rogue Trooper. I'd love to see Stratton Dog. I'd like to see Captain Britain. I'd like to see these people on the screen. We want to talk about how worldly we are. But
see, that's just it. We're trying to make these American-centric, which is fine, but then you're shocked when it doesn't sell in China, right? And then you alter it so it'll sell in China, and then it's nobody in the U.S. wants it. What you need to do is you need to set up
What we need is the Badger.
Well, yeah, the Badger would be good too. But we need... if you want to be global, what you do is you set up a Disney, Marvel cinema, movie making company in the UK and in China and in Canada, right? And then you do characters written by people living there in that culture
Right.
Look, how do we not have a Canadian Marvel storyline going with all the Canadian characters that they've had over the years?
Very true.
Very good point.
And maybe they're not that popular in the U.S., but they'd be hella popular in Canada, right?
Or they could be. They could.
And there could be, yes, if they're done well. There was that Russian superhero film a couple years back. I didn't actually see it, but damn, it looked good. You guys know the one I'm talking about?
Unfortunately,
I'm not familiar with it.
No.
I got to see if I can find it. I never bothered to look into it, but yeah, it
Night
looked
Watch or
really
something
good.
like that.
Something like that, yeah. It was like, I'm like, original characters, not anything that we'd ever seen before. So it was Russian. I'd be interested to see it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if people are so obsessed with anime and the stuff that comes from Japan, let's spread it out a little bit more. Let's see what other people give us.
Yeah,
what
I
other
would be
creators
fine with
do
that.
more.
Yeah, I don't know. Somehow this pendulum is going to swing, and they'll be like, "Oh, a lot of I'm not upset about this writer strike." And when I see people go, "Oh, it's for the little people. The people who get coffee. The people who are behind the cameras," and I'm like, "Listen, Dave. How many writer strikes do we need? We've had 4 or 5 writer strike. Strike, I guess.
Yeah.
There's been 4 or 5 of these." Where the writers go on strike, and it's going to start again, and soon it's just another few years.
And I've said it plenty of times here on Pop Talk. As far as the writer's strike is concerned, let it happen, and it has, and let Hollywood, as we know it, end.
Right.
Yeah. I think that
earlier about movie franchises.
Look, I mentioned it earlier in the show how DC and Marvel, the comics industry, is dying, but that doesn't mean comics are dying, because you've got people like Eric July and so many others doing great independent work, right? I see now the same thing happening with the entertainment industry. Nobody is watching late night TV anymore. They're watching channels like this on YouTube, and
are watching old Johnny Carson shows.
Yeah. Exactly.
The funny thing is, Troy, that as far as I still know, what's the late night leader now? Oh, it's something on Fox's. Oh, the evil Fox's. It's Greg Gutfeld's show. They make fun of each other. There's so much to make fun. They don't care. They make fun of a lot of stuff, and they throw out common sense, which we used to have on late night. But we want to watch Colbert or Fallon
But the fact is, nobody is. That's the funny thing.
Exactly.
You just look at their ratings. But there's nothing else to put in those slots. So they're zombie shows is what they are.
Right. And carbon copies.
Yep.
Carbon copies. It's like it's the same thing. It's like we don't want clones. At least there was a difference between Letterman and Little. At least there was a difference between
them. Was. Yes, there was.
Yep. I'm just waiting to see the day that we have a stand-up comic that goes up on stage and goes, "So how about that Trump? We all hate him, right? Yeah. Orange man bad, right? Yeah." And just do that for like 15 minutes until people are no longer laughing.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I see. You're making fun of us.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But that's what you need to do. It's like, if you lower your expectations, and what I mean by lower expectation, you don't expect or demand high quality entertainment.
That was another Mad TV thing. Lowered expectations.
Yeah, talked about that earlier. I love that.
Yeah.
That was a great skit, man.
Right. I mean, that's the trouble. This TikTok-minded society, they have no idea what it's like to formulate out a show, how to get the punchline right.
Yep.
I mean, you hear stories about some of the greatest comics in the world were Jewish, and they always would hang out in the Catskills here, and they'd be trying their bits, and a good old Uncle Milty would be stealing it from them, and
yeah, that's right. That's right.
and hearing people that were not Jewish, such as Orson Bean, talking about how they're kibitzing back and forth, and you take a look, and there's George Burns, Jack Benny, and all these others, and they're just trying out their little bits, and that's when they polish it down, and they were not afraid to criticize each other.
And that's the other thing too. There's this assumption, and I see it in music, I see it in acting, I see it in comedy. Everybody thinks I can do this. It's so easy. No, it's not. It's hard work, and you got to practice. When you tell a joke, timing is so crucial. Knowing when to tell that joke, when to drop the punchline, how to lead up to it. Same thing with music. You've got to have the timing down. I actually saw a great commentary comparing the timing element in comedy to the timing element in horror.
Yeah.
How they are very, very similar. The build up, the build up, the build up, the punchline. The build up, the build up, the build up, the scare.
Mm-hmm. Now, see, the comedy acts I like is when they start off with some little joke, and then when they get to the end of their routine, that same joke comes back around. Yeah, the payoff. See, again, that's exactly what I was talking about. That kind of thing. And this is also the difference that I see in actors in modern Hollywood and, classically trained British actors, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
This idea that, I could do that. I can memorize my lines and but then you really look at some of these actors and you see that they're really just a pretty face, and that's it. They can't act their way out of a paper bag, Right. Mm-hmm. Who are the best actors? Not necessarily the best looking. It's the so-called character actors. The ones that you don't know their name, but you know that face. They're in everything.
Mr. Cellophane.
Yeah, and they, John C. Reilly, for example, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Howard.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So
Clint Howard probably makes more than an average Hollywood actor, and he's constantly at work, and all he does is go on a set for like 2 or 3 days, and the rest of the time he's golfing. Says, what better is life than that? I know Ron's doing all this stuff, but look at my life.
Well, and you know what it is? It's residuals. Right. That's always it. If you can get a small role in a successful show, and you just keep getting a check every time that thing airs, you're going to be okay.
Well, and the most important thing about being a character actor is keeping your ego in check.
Yeah, because the ones that destroy their careers are the ones that are too big for that. I don't want to be known as this character all my life. Oh, really? You don't want to be known as a successful actor making a lot of money even when you're not working? Okay, fine.
What was it? Schwimmer was like, I don't want to ever be known as Ross for the rest of my life. Character. It's like, dude, you should be proud of that. And then on top of that, this is also funny too, Troy, after all the nonsense that went on a few years ago, it was like, oh, I should have put some more diversity in the main cast of Friends. Why are you making people feel bad because you're a white person? Give me a break.
Jason Bateman, oh my gosh. I have been a fan of his ever since. He and I are close in age, and honestly, I looked a lot like him when I was in high school. I can't remember what the show was back then.
Nutter, is that true, Nutter?
She didn't know me when I was in high school.
I didn't know him in high school. I didn't know him until college.
I'm sure you saw pictures of him, though.
Yeah.
I got pictures of him in high school, though.
But he was in, wasn't he? He was in Silver Spoons.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah. Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was like the friend, yeah.
And then after that, it was
I just know Sister Justine.
It was the Valerie Harper show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Hogan family after.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. When he was on Silver Spoons, he was the best thing about Silver Spoons to me. I used to laugh so hard at him. He was great. So every time I saw him in something ever since, I was like, I gotta see. This guy's great. He's awesome. So yeah, absolutely. But and if that show is still being shown in a streaming service somewhere, he's probably still making checks off of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Every time somebody views it.
Yeah.
Yep.
even people like Seinfeld's like, I'm not going to make jokes to colleges anymore, and these other people, and it doesn't matter if he's on the left or the right. It's
Yep.
even Rob Schneider is like, you know what? Screw these people. I'm just going to make jokes when I want to make jokes. And so it's the same with like Entertainment Weekly. I'll use them as an example, Troy. They write this garbage article pretty much that's attacking people. It's like, okay, cool. So you guys have just given me some more comedy material. Okay, so this is what I think you'll say. If you don't agree with me, you're a narcissist and I hate you. And then some people in the comments are like, why do you write like that? I'm like, oh, should I write like this for you? Does that make you feel better? Does that make your feelings?
Cash, I got to break in here for a moment.
Yeah.
Better, don't fall for Phil McCracken's.
Yeah.
He's a nut.
Phil likes to go on some of his own tangents.
Yeah, so
Well, it's like those are DVDs. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, just don't let them suck you in, because before you know it, you're watching Caddyshack too.
That's right. Yeah, seriously.
Exactly.
This is Patrick
I've seen some bad
and
movies,
I wish
so.
to tell Phil McCracken that I hate him also.
Now to give you some backstory on that.
Now,
We're watching
Phil,
Star
behave.
Trek: The Next Generation, and Phil starts going on a tangent about Patrick Stewart and Picard, and how Picard can't throw a punch. How
horrible
Picard
actor.
has no hair.
Yeah.
It's like, no, relax, dude.
But I'll tell you, when it comes to comedy, especially when I'm thinking about Saturday Night Live, I miss Dennis Miller,
Yeah.
and I really miss Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh, I know.
I
Norm
miss
was
Colin
very
Quinn.
funny.
Gilda Radner.
Oh, Quinn.
Yeah,
Gilda Radner,
She
yeah.
was very funny, but even people in the '90s who are, I miss people like Chris Farley.
The
Farley
worst is
very-
Dennis Miller's still with us, but
He
he
is.
doesn't do anything anymore. You know,
No,
and
he's not like he used to. No, he
I
had
think he's
a
fed
pretty
up.
long career. Yeah, I think
Well,
he is.
he used
Yeah.
to, what? He used to be on one of the news channels doing a show, wasn't he? Or a talk show. He did talk.
Yeah, he's been on Fox News before. He was with
Yeah.
Bill O'Reilly. He was
Yep.
doing stuff later, and I don't know. I think he's just pretty much retired or just fed up with it.
I just want to
Can't blame
apologize
him.
for that. I want to apologize for that noise. That was Mouse coming in deciding he wanted to take over where the microphone was.
Oh, Mouse is trying.
Yeah,
to
and I want to apologize for that noise too. I had a lot of beans last night, so.
Uh,
And then our AI just started talking upstairs, and it's like, that's why I went up there, shut her up.
What, Alexa?
Yeah.
I thought it was an alarm going off. I didn't realize it was something.
Yeah, she was just talking, and I'm like, who's she talking to? There's nobody up here.
That
Well-
reminds me of a story.
do we have another clip for Phil or something since Phil's
Oh, we
starting
got-
his nonsense again?
We got
you
tons of that. But when we were living in the Tag Manor, where it was a pretty big house, and my daughter was way down. Daughter's room was way down the end of the hallway from our bedroom, and she had one of those Alexa dot things or round thing. I don't know what it is. Just
Yeah,
those
Echo Dot.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and we were the Mrs. and I were talking in our bedroom, and we said something. I don't know, something related to snow. Talking about snow and cold things, and all of a sudden, before we know it, we started hearing this music playing, and it's like, what the hell is that? And for some reason, down the hall, Alexa heard us say something, and they started playing Frozen. Let it be, let it be. And it's like, what the hell? I mean, we are 20, 30 feet away from you in another room.
Yeah, ours does that. I can tell her to turn on the light in the bedroom from down in our family room, and the one in the kitchen will answer, or I'll ask the one in the bedroom something, and the one in my office will answer.
Mm-hmm. And so this is for Phil.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
That's for you, Phil.
It's great.
Especially since so many people have recommended it to me, and then when I was looking up recipes for White Russians last week, I kept running into that movie. I'm like, okay, all right, I gotta see The Big Lebowski.
It's a brilliant.
It's a great movie.
Really.
Yeah.
It's a fun story, fun adventure.
The first
John
time
Goodman
I saw it
steals the show.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
he
definitely
does.
he does.
Did
yes.
you say John Goodman?
Do you see what happens, Larry, when you fuck a stranger in the ass?
Okay, wait. I want to ask Phil McCracken some. How do you know if Patrick Stewart can't kiss? You ever try kissing him? Inquiring minds want to know.
Maybe we don't want an answer to that.
Right, can we please get... Yeah, I'm overwriting. I'm going above Mike. You're hired, Netter.
Yeah, right.
I just said you bet your match, Phil.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm security and bouncer on other channels, so, you know, I'm small but I'm feisty.
Yes, she absolutely is.
You had to take care of Will Wheaton, of course you are.
Dude,
Oh,
Patty,
I got one even better. We used to do this immersion con for a Victorian Renaissance or
Victorian steampunk.
That's what I meant. And I was sitting at the security table by myself because everyone else was off doing something. Either they're on break or something was going on. And we had a section roped off where you weren't supposed to go past that point. You had to go around to the staircase. And these guys kept trying to come through. And I would just get up and look at them, give them what they call the mom look. And it's like, you get your bottom back behind that rope and you go to the stairs. Now, these guys are at least 6 feet tall and at least, built like linebackers. And I'm like, move your butt to the staircase. And they're like, yes, ma'am. Backing up, put the rope back, walked around. And every time they saw me, they're like, ma'am.
It's not just the mom look, but you got the red hair. That's right.
Now, keep in mind, I'm only 5'4", so I'm a shorty. I'm tiny.
Yeah.
And I'm scaring these guys.
We call that feisty. Yeah. We know
yes, I'm small, but I'm feisty. I'm also Klingon.
And to that, Netter, I do have a clip I'm going to play.
Here we go.
Glory to you and your house.
Kapla Nunesh. Yes.
Okay, well, if we're going to do
by the way, folks, Troy can actually speak real Klingon.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I'm not super fluent, but if you got a piece of text you want translated, I can probably translate
we need to get that clip on here, Mike, from Frasier, where I've talked to Troy about this.
I love that one. That is classic.
So amazing.
The best part about that was there was enough real Klingon in there that when I first saw that, I immediately recognized it. So I was already laughing my ass off before, the joke is revealed, right? But yeah.
I can speak Pig Klingon, kind of like Pig Latin.
Pig Klingon, okay, good. Although they'd call it Tard Klingon.
Oh, okay. Well, the funny thing is there was before we had what was his name again? Mike Okrand or
Mark Okrand, yeah.
Mark Okrand,
yeah. Come out with that stuff. The FASA role playing game was putting Klingon in there, so it was the kind of the different dialect of Klingon that I learned compared to when that came out there, and the fact that James Doohan was the one that came up with the initial Klingon for the motion picture.
Yep, he came up with all the, I guess you'd call them phonemes that appeared in the first film, and so the actors playing the Klingons were speaking English, but they needed to come up with words that matched their what they were mouthing. There you go.
Oh,
yep.
That is me as Klingon.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to that full screen.
Okay, I'd say something, but I don't want Troy to come after me.
Oh, honey, you don't
No,
have to
I would probably absolutely agree with you. Yeah,
it's me you got to worry about.
She's smoking hot. There's no doubt about it.
She is.
So, Baron, are you telling me you're afraid that Troy's going to tell you this?
He said, "Today is a good day to die."
Hey, look at the uniform I'm wearing. Of course I am.
I prefer Nuknek Yuchtepul. Where's the chocolate?
Yep, exactly. Yep, that's exactly right.
The most important words you probably could learn in Klingon.
And let me tell you, I guess what really hurts when I see clips like that is remembering how good Star Trek was.
Oh, yeah.
There was the great Klingon episode where you had the three Dar Masters from the original series, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they go on this quest, right?
William Campbell, John Calikas, and the great Michael and Sarah.
Yeah, and there was this whole bit about, and I it's been so long I've forgotten the details, but one of them was dying, and says to Dax, "Well, today is a good day to die." And she says, "It's never a good day to lose a friend." Mm-hmm. And it's just, they don't write like that anymore.
I know.
They can't.
You know?
They can't. They don't
They
know how
don't
to.
want to. Well, they don't want to because they're activists, they're diversity buyers, they're all. It doesn't.
They only know how to destroy. Yeah.
It just they don't understand. And if you're lost, like actually lost, like I don't know what story. Go back and look at all these novels. Look at why people like this stuff so much. But that's like scary to them. They're like, we're going to do something better. We're going to do something different.
Which is why it's so ridiculous when they blame us as ists and phobes, and you know, this is why it. No. We told you what we wanted. You didn't give it to us. Therefore, you don't make money. That's how this works.
That's right.
Well, you know, I'm going to throw it to you, Cash, here with this one. You're now experiencing Babylon 5 for the first time. What do you have to say about that?
I like the fact that I'm watching sci-fi like old Doctor Who, where it actually makes me think. Wow, something that actually makes me think.
How far into it are you?
We're just a few episodes.
Yeah, they just got the gathering and moved on. And, you know, and I'll tell you one thing. The one thing that grabbed me into Babylon 5 was not the pilot movie, even though that kept my interest. And you had to wait a whole year. It was Midnight in the Firing Line. The first episode of that show got me.
Yeah.
And you want to know the one thing that got me the most? Is how they tried to have an accurate space battle with fighters.
Yep.
I'm going, my God, I haven't seen this. And this was J. Michael Straczynski's way of going, I'm going to do my own thing that's not Star Trek.
Yep.
With talent. Yep.
Like people like Jakar, he even saved that woman. He says, well, it would make the admiral or the captain upset, and I don't want that basically on my conscience.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, I was like, dang, you know,
that is such a good series. I'm scared to death that they want to reboot this thing. I don't care if it is J. Michael Straczynski wanting to reboot it. It was so great the way it was, and it was the first time that you got these great story arcs where something that happens in the first and second season has a payoff in the fourth season. You know, you know what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of Veer with the look up at you and smile and wave like this. You know, and then the payoff for that. So, oh my gosh,
exactly.
You know,
Phil, you're really obsessed with a lot of things. I worry about you sometimes, man.
I
really do.
But you know, that's the big thing is not only that, but he wrote how many of those episodes, majority of that show he wrote from season 3 on to, well, except for one episode in season 5, which was done by Neil Gaiman. He wrote that all.
And what he didn't write, he gave the writers these parameters that they had to fall into because he was a real showrunner. He had a vision and he wanted to see it through. This is where all these other franchises are falling apart because there is no one doing that.
And you're able to bring people over like DC Fontana and David Gerald and Paul and Peter David onto that show, who are known for their Star Trek work, now working in this universe and knowing how to write in this universe, not trying to bring Star Trek over.
Right. Yep. And if you're going to do a reboot of something, do something like the Coen brothers did with True Grit. That was really good, and it followed a lot of the original story. That's what I'd like to see. But we have too many reboots. We have too many reboots of games, too many reboots of movies, and it's just getting worse and worse.
Because
some are cool.
There's no imagination. No one can come up with anything new. All they can do is steal other people's stuff and make it worse.
Yeah. Right. And not understand why it was popular.
No idea.
Right.
They keep making the mistake of assuming that as long as you slap the name Star Wars, Star Trek, Indiana Jones on it. They will come. No, that is not enough. It might have been at one time, but we've all learned our lesson.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be a literate person to do this. I mean, you take a look at, Jay Michael says this, you can see how Tolkien and
Yes!
7 and all that influenced Babylon 5. You can see all the influences from the Seven Samurais to even just the Hot Rod films.
Yep.
That influenced George Lucas. Even films like, the Westerns. I mean, as I step back and say that Greedo scene is nothing but Tuco in The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. You're going to talk, you're going to shoot. That was his version of doing that.
Yeah.
When there was a Deep Space Nine episode with the Gem Hadar, and it was very clear that they were doing like a live action homage to the Charge of the Light Brigade. Where theirs was but to do and die. And it's like they charged in knowing they were going to die because that was their job. And it's like this writer gets it,
Right.
Brilliant.
Right. You have to be literate in some fashion or another to be able to make it. Even more so, I'd say, in the science fiction universe, because you are world building. So what are you going to do? What are you going to pull from or whatever? Good old A. Van Volt took I, Claudius and made it into the Empire of the Atom and that book series. You could clearly tell that's where he was taken from I, Claudius. There's so many others out there that you can say, oh yeah, they grabbed from this or they grabbed from that. And the thing is it is an homage. It is inspiration. It's not stealing. They want to try to say it's stealing, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's like you said earlier, it's that continuation of the hero story.
The idea of an homage means that you are stealing, but with respect. And that means you have to love and understand the thing that you're homaging. And that's not what they're doing, because there is no love there and there is no respect.
Right.
And what would really be nice also, Troy, if they would just come out and say, you know what, we don't understand this material yet, but we're actually learning and we want to give the fans something entertaining. I would love to see more directors, older directors, sure. I think people like Christopher Nolan really wants to give somebody something entertaining, and he's upset about these streaming services and other stuff. But even people like Patty Jenkins, you look at her with Wonder Woman 1984, it's like, have you read the comic that would be based on this?
Yeah.
You should, because they do a lot of cool things in there.
And that's the thing, right? I just got through saying that these people don't know how to create anything new, so the material's already out there. Just steal it. Just put it up on the screen. That's where Zack Snyder actually did well, when he took a comic book and just turned it into a movie. When he did The Watchmen, when he did The 300, he just treated these comic books like they were, the blocking, the storyboards, and just put it up on the screen,
And here's another thing too. We could use some more happy stories again, especially all this junk that has happened. I don't care if somebody said that from Fox News or somewhere else. I like hearing that stuff. Yes, we need more happy stories in movies to make people have more hope.
Well, to piggyback off of that, and you, Troy, on this, I think the greatest homage film that was done was 1980's Flash Gordon.
Yeah, you're right.
That is one of the greatest homage films.
That was brilliant.
It was. I never get tired watching that movie. My dad got mad at me because I kept on watching it over and over when it was on the cable networks. He goes, I know it's a good film, but why do you keep on...
And that Queen soundtrack sure doesn't hurt.
And
Not at all.
Exactly. But, that I think is the best example of an homage film out there. If someone wants to try to do one, watch Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
And Troy, I know you never have to go, so if there's anything that you would both like to promote, please.
Sure. Tomorrow night over on Netter's Network. Actually, I think he's in the chat, isn't he?
Yes, the Padawanami.
Yep.
He will be my special guest on my Thursday things. In fact,
we're sorry for that.
And we will be talking about the Padawanami challenge that I did on Pops that he actually started. And if you want to see me do the challenge, just go over to my channel. I do have it there for you guys to look at. And if anyone is interested in being a guest on my Thursday things, my only requirements are that you have a channel.
Yep.
And you have some content on the channel so we can talk about that.
Absolutely.
So if you're interested, I'm on Twitter. It's Netters Network altogether. No apostrophe with the S or anything, just Netters Network. Send me a DM and let's get you set up. I'm right now looking for July 6th and beyond. And yeah, so if you're interested, shoot me a DM.
There you go. So that's tomorrow night on Netters Network, 9 Central, 10 Eastern. And then Friday on my channel, 9 Central, 10 Eastern, Last Call, where it's really going to be Age of Boomer and I talking about. Well, we're probably going to be talking a lot about the Flash.
Yeah,
but we're going to do
DC in general.
And DC, kind of doing a little retrospective on the sunsetting of the Snyderverse and. Where it looks like it's going to be going, but
it's not over yet, though. Yeah. We still have Aquaman coming out.
We'll be talking about that too.
Oh, great! You get to watch the turd float around.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like in Caddyshack when they throw it in the pool. There's Amber.
And I will start the show with another drink and another song. So you wanna check that out tomorrow on my channel.
And then on Saturday. Back on my channel, we'll be doing Netters Network Retro Cinema Presents, and we'll be watching Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh,
and
underrated.
Very nice.
Yeah, and we will have a Cosme link, so you don't have to own this the DVD. You can just click on the link, and you can watch along with us.
Although if you don't own Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, why not? You absolutely should.
It's a classic.
That one is a classic.
Can you believe Ian Fleming actually wrote that?
Yeah.
That is crazy to me. That still blows my mind.
Oddly enough, I do not have that on DVD. I need to fix that. But I have a Corgi Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
There you go.
Cool.
I do have one. It's a little bit beat up, but I still got it. I mean, it got a lot of love.
And we'll wrap it up on Sunday over on Age of Boomers channel.
Me.
Yep, where we will be doing Geeky Geezers. I will get those notes together for you, Boomer. I promise.
Well, not done yet.
Yeah. The week's not done yet. Yeah, so we still have a lot to squeeze in there. Actually, I think most of the stuff that we've been bandying back and forth is stuff we'll be covering on Friday.
Yeah, you can use any of those articles for Friday. We can do other stuff on Sunday. Yeah.
I mean, we'll be pretty much talked out on the Flash by the end of Friday. But there will be plenty of other geeky news to talk about on Sunday, bringing a different perspective to some of the topics you might see on other channels, or some topics you may not see anywhere else just because they struck our fancy.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the important thing, too. I mean, why... the echo chamber can go in the same thing that everybody's talking about, the same item, even if they disagree with it.
Yeah.
The echo chamber even goes that way. There's more news, there's more stuff out there. We should be going in the way, in my opinion, just like they did with Star Wars. Be the voice, the people out there that are talking about it.
Yep.
Saying, hey, have you seen this? Have you seen that? And it's important to try to get those that don't get the press, whether it's good or bad, out there.
Yep.
We got to be the new Starlog. We got to be Starlog on YouTube.
But I wish we could convince people like Master Paul that Predator isn't a boring movie.
It is not a boring movie. I don't know where he got that from. You know what? And for that one, I got to say, do this.
Master Paul can fluff my pillows Navy style any day.
Wow.
Master Paul can fluff my pillows Navy style any day.
There we go. That's for Master Paul.
All because Phil would look at Paul's pillows on his bed and say, why aren't those fluffed up to Navy standards? That's how that began.
Yeah,
that's what goes on.
Where is your other hand?
Between two pillows.
Those aren't pillows!
I love that movie. John Candy, I miss him.
I know.
Yes, he was great.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah.
He was even had a good role in Rookie of the Year. Just at Home Alone, of course, he had a good role. Yeah.
I think he worked best when he was with somebody.
I didn't know he was a chain smoker, though. As you said, he was a chain smoker.
Yeah,
I did not know that. And of course, he was overweight too. And
yep.
It's a bad combination, unfortunately.
And Age Boomer, what do you have coming up on your channel?
Like I said, Troy was saying, Geeky Geezers will be on with me on Sunday, and
Yep.
nothing else at the moment. But keep an eye out. You never know. Maybe I'll do some other things on there sometimes. I remember one time when Troy couldn't make it, I did the Geek Gulag, which was a one-time, which was more about just stupid geek news than it was about like the general news. So maybe I'll do that again, or maybe not stupid geek news, odd geek news. I'll put it to that.
No, that's kind of like when Cash and I take over the stream when Mike's not around.
Oh, the mutiny, man, the mutiny.
Pacific Forum for Pirate Talk.
Man. Pirate Talk.
He's not here as Pirate Talk. Arr.
That's right.
All right.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to beg Netter to be on her show. Can I be on your show?
Absolutely. Send her a DM. And
You just said it, Baron. What are you talking
I know. I'm having fun, okay?
How dare you, Baron? You go sit with Mouse and think about what you just said.
Well, Mouse just walked away. He was fed up with me. He just walked away. That's it. I'm out of here.
Wow. Alrighty then. Well, it's been a show, folks.
Yeah, that's one way to end it. But on a serious note, Troy, Netter, Boomer, thank you for coming on to the show today. This was a blast.
Yeah, it was a lot of
really
fun.
appreciate it.
Thanks for having us. Yeah,
Thanks for having
great.
us.
I'd love
As
to
my,
do this again.
my little text says, happy to be here.
Yep, happy to be here. Yeah.
Oh,
I thought
we're
that's what
happy
says
to have you
underneath my
guys.
name.
I see that. Yeah.
Yep.
We need to go back on again. We need, and then what we need to do is cattle prod Age Boomer to talk a little bit more.
That's
Why
a good.
try, but Troy?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say what you gotta do is you gotta rein me in.
Well, we know how to mute you. We can.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do. You gotta mute me. Whoop.
Well,
But
see,
then we mute better.
what you have to remember about Boomer is that he works on a library, so he's always quiet.
Yeah, he's always gotta be quiet, right?
Okay, well, that makes sense. Yeah.
I know exactly what.
Which means you should really start an ASMR stream, Boomer. You know.
Well, you're quiet until you have to do the closing announcement. Then you have to be loud.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Get it.
But yeah, I'd be happy to have any of you guys as a guest on my channel.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, just shoot me a DM. We'll set up
Okay.
dates.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me
Cool.
find where my phone is. I can do
And
that. Are we
before we leave, Cash, what do you have coming up on the Phantom Hooligans?
Well, since I decided to, you'll be shocked, Mike. I actually linked this channel. I know it's shocking to the Phantom Hooligans. I know you always say that I don't do that stuff, but I actually did it this time. I'm sure that shocks you, Mike. But I have Bolt Gun coming up, and then on Saturday, as long as everything goes well, it'll be Baron, me, Mike, and somebody else, and we're going to be playing Broforce. And we got to take down Satan Man's his final form.
We're on the final stage.
Final
Final
stage.
boss.
Effing Satan Man.
Yeah, okay. And I'm going to be helping out. This will be my first time really
Yeah.
playing this game.
Yeah,
I
so,
played a little bit on easy mode so I can understand how the game is played. But
Right.
I'll admit that. But I'm ready to go full hardcore.
And then I think I might start doing some car videos, Mike. I think you and a few other people have inspired me to start doing that with the phone. So, yeah, talk
Cool.
about stuff, some movies, different things. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Oh, so now, Cash, you're going to have to let me know what
Hmm.
your favorite movie is. And if it's one that I own, wherever it falls in the alphabet, you can be a guest host for my
Or the
Saturday Night
rewatch,
Rewatch.
yeah, that'd be great.
Well, the
what's that film where the old
Citizen Kane is my all-time favorite movie.
Wow, good one.
Yeah.
Do we have that one?
We should, but I don't think we do.
Oh, you know,
The
you
fact that
chastise us
Orson
for not
Welles-
having Chitty Bang Bang, but
Chitty
you probably
Chitty-
don't have Citizen King. Come on!
Citizen
No,
Kane
right.
is amazing.
I might have it. I have to look. But then I'd have to turn around,
Yeah.
and then you'd be looking at the back of my head.
I love this whole story about, and I think it relates to a lot of what's going on. You have this man who thinks he can destroy, do whatever he wants to people, and then when he gets older, everybody's gone. They've all abandoned him. And of course, this is about a certain person too that made him mad. But it's still like, it still resonates with what's going on today. That there's
Yeah.
a lot of these people who are such narcissists that they don't understand that when they get older, a lot of these people may be gone.
Yeah.
They may not be around. And when he's thinking about his sled, I always feel like it's one of those things. Well, that was a better time for him, and that maybe he made some mistakes. I think you can interpret Citizen Kane many different ways.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's an incredibly made film.
Wonderful.
Even though it's about William Randolph Hearst and mocking him, but still, there's so many good messages in that movie. That's what I took out of it.
Well, it was more than that. I mean, yeah, you think, but if it was just him
Right.
bashing Hearst, it'd be
Yes.
would be a good film.
Right.
But it was more
Exactly.
than that.
So much more. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it is a great film. It is a great film. It is on my, it is one of my favorite films too.
Cool.
And Baron, what do you have coming up on Fandom Legacy?
Working on it. I just work with you guys right now, and I'm hoping to get on Knitters here if I can get the Knitter. But yeah, now that I got my wonderful setup that's just like Mike's, except he put more RAM in his. I'm ready to go.
More RAM in yours.
I'm going to. I have to talk to the wife. I saw the price, but it's on sale. But nothing else really other than that, except that you check the DMs in Discord. Vet for Hire came through. I don't know if there's a way we can show that.
If you want to share your screen.
I can't because it was on my phone.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. It's on Discord. Oh, never mind. I can do that. Yeah. What am I talking about? Okay. I'm an idiot. You know that, don't you? Yeah.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying a word.
Yeah, you haven't said a word, but let's see if I can find this son of a beaver. Go. No. Oh boy. You might have to do it. I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, let me put Discord on.
You do that.
You know how I am. I like to have Discord off during the show.
Oh, yeah. Well, you should keep it on because you never know what's going on.
All right, I'm putting
Vet
this in
for
another
Hire.
window.
The wonderful
and I'm
Vet
going to
for
go
Hire.
ahead and share it real quick.
And I want you guys doing it because I know you'll love it, Troy. I know you'll love it, Netter, and I'm sure you'll love it, H Boomer.
Right. Oh,
brutal.
Oh,
It's funny,
Man, right?
Weekend at Bernie's and Indiana Jones: Last Crusade came out the same summer.
Yeah,
That's right.
You're absolutely right. And both good films.
Yep.
Wow.
Weekend at Indies.
Great.
There you go.
wow.
I love Vet for Hire. He's a great guy.
Yep.
All right, and I'm going to go ahead and put the Phantom Hooligans link in there before I start shilling for myself. And
Oh, you can put their link in there? Oh, come on.
yes,
The
I'm
Hooligans,
putting
huh?
I'm putting the Phantom Hooligans in there.
The
It's Hooligans, Baird. Hooligans.
Yeah, no, hooligans, Baron. I'm still waiting for you to get your stream up, man. Yep. Still waiting for you to come back, Baron.
I gotta. Have you seen how the orcas are attacking out there? I gotta keep on Lord Grit's side, okay?
The orcas are
The orcas are out there.
nasty orcas, man.
I think the
And-
orcas did that stuff.
Troy, I also put your Rumble link in there too if anybody wishes
Oh,
to
yeah.
follow you on Rumble.
Sure. Absolutely. I don't have a lot. There's just a couple of videos up there that are exclusive, because, reasons. But otherwise, everything gets backed up to Rumble. So everything that's over here is over there.
Well, we need more competition with YouTube and Twitch. So if
Yep.
Rumble's the one, it'll be good.
Rumble's getting there, yeah. You've seen a lot of the bigger names starting to go over there. So
Yeah, I have stuff on there too. I've been trying to keep part and parcel with the YouTube channel, putting everything about on Rumble.
Yep.
I know I've got a Rumble channel. I just don't remember like log in or anything.
And yet you have it automatically backing up. And I know
Right,
because
Anonymous,
I see it there.
I get rumbles, but that's usually after chili night.
Yeah, I'm with you there, buddy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Chilly night.
But as far as Pacific Forum 4 is concerned, I will be playing Jedi Survivor once again tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern.
He's gonna die.
Probably. And then Friday and Saturday, there won't be anything on the channel. Now, as you heard, Saturday night and it's still going to be at 9 p.m. my time, 6 p.m. your time, right, Cash?
Yeah, that's
for the Bro Force.
We can do that. Does that work for you, Baron?
What time? 6 o'clock? You said your time?
6 my time.
8 o'clock my time. Yeah, I can do it. 8
like
o'clock my time.
Yeah, or you want to do it earlier?
Well, no, that's fine with me. That's fine with me.
Okay.
Mike is one time zone even over, so I don't know what time his Betty Bye time is. When his teddy bear ad says, "Hey, come on, get to bed."
But we'll be doing that over on the Phantom Hooligans, and then of course Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern will be the Sunday edition of Pop Talk. And Barrett and Cash have already been showing me articles to talk about, and I'm of course going to look through articles to talk about. We'll definitely have plenty to talk about from the articles we've all already found. So
actually, they're all his. I haven't had a chance yet because he's trying to get a good grade in school. He's the teacher's pet. He's putting the apple on your freaking desk.
Well, we can also talk about the Nintendo Direct just happened recently too.
Yeah, that just happened today, and
yep.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll definitely have topics to talk about. I'll probably have that all prepped between Friday and Saturday. But that's what's coming up on the channel.
He says that all the time, folks, but you know how the show goes.
Do I have to kick you out for a third time?
What do you mean third time? Oh, yeah, I guess it would be. Well, the show is coming to the end, so we're all going to be. Oh, I like Paul McCracken's, though. I like Paul McCracken's. The Phantom Hooligans.
Yeah, I don't think so, Philly boy.
But I do want to thank everybody who is here. Yep. And I'm going to go through the list of names real quick. I want to thank Crit from Evers Productions for being here. I also want to thank Rocco the Brave. And, of course, our infamous troll, the best troll on YouTube, Phil McCracken.
Is he the best, though?
He is, actually. He really is. About the only one that's better than him is Cynthia Dildo. That's over on 24/7.
Yeah. I also want to thank Strike 721.
Yep, he's from my side of the thing. Angry Canadian.
The angriest of all Canadians. Angry Canadian.
I thought they were all happy people up there.
Except for Angry Canadian.
Yeah, shiny, happy people.
Keely Chow, Roll Tide, Keely Chow. And you're going to have to help me out with this one, Cash.
For Lennis? Yeah, for Lennis. Yep. Or just for, whatever you want to call him.
And, of course, Tim's Talk was here as well.
Still looking for Spock. He hasn't found him, but maybe one of these days.
Jet Sparks was here.
Hey, Jet.
Jedi Bill stopped by. And, of course, Phantom Hooligans. Ghost Rider was here over on the Phantom Hooligans side.
I guess a lot of us are hooligans. But yeah.
Hooligans.
DJ Ronnie G. The lovely Leia Rose, the Princess of YouTube. And, of course, our guest, Age Boomer.
Hello. Goodbye.
Nova Vaughn was here. Angelus Draven was here.
Yes.
Bush McFadden was here.
Yep.
Boosh.
Whoopa Trooper was here.
Whoopa, whoopa, whoopa.
The Padawannabe, who will be a guest of Netters tomorrow. And the long-suffering Mrs. Tag.
And she is.
And thank you again, Netter, for joining us tonight.
Oh, happy to be here.
Jason Fox of 540 Studios. And Troy, thank you very much for being here as well.
Thanks
really
for
appreciate
having me.
it.
Absolutely.
And with that being said, all I have to say is this as we roll out of here.
Autobots, transform and roll out.
Oh, I'm glad that missed. Oh! Okay.
Man, Bill just had to stop by again, didn't he? Sometime. And
yeah, I don't. Bobby, get the hell out of here! I hate that cat.
Oh, come on, you gotta learn to love it, Baron.
No, he's an asshole. El Diablo Gato.
Bill's trying to get people to watch that horrible Caddyshack movie again.
I know.
Baron, what the heck, man?